With me while I show you what I'm eating today as a white transmasculine, femme non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian, Universalist, non-monogamous, Leo, romantic, gray, demi-bisexual, a survivor of acute complex trauma, millennial, and cat parent in mental health recovery.
It's a trap!
Hold on, dude. Yeah. Hold on, Chad.
I will read you to filth.
See the size of that chicken. I caught that quote. Young Guns, good movie. Welcome everybody. TGIS. It's the day of the Lord's scale. Wilhelm was streaming earlier. I hope everybody caught that. Will happens to be here in the chat. And yeah, tonight we're just gonna have an awesome conversation about Joes and stuff, because we like stuff. And I have a good friend. We got to hang out at DFW. A lot of people, a lot of good faces. Everybody was there. Cliff, good to see you. World Made of Cardboard. Thanks, my friend. TNT Skate. I'm glad you're all here. I always try to see if I can get through all the comments that were up during or before the intro while the intro plays. And I appreciate the fact that I can't get through them all. So I'm glad you're all here. I'm glad you're excited to have a fun time with us. We're just gonna go, but a lot of this fun that we have is really because of all of you. Dig the new background. Thank you very much. I'm a big fan myself. Sometimes the reflection on them isn't the greatest, but what are you gonna do, right? Fucking glass doors. Oh, can I say that? Yeah, we're 3.5 minutes in. I can say that. Lunchbox Killer, what it do, baby? Good to see you, man. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring in my friend. He is part of the Council of Jeffs, and it is NowhereManChild, a.k.a. Jeff Butler. What's up, dude?
What's up? What's up? Happy Sunday, post 4th of July.
What? It is Sunday. It's the Lord's Scale Day. What's new with you?
Just got in from being at my in-laws for the weekend, so literally rolled in my house about 40 minutes ago. So got the fan on, cooling the room down, but
just walked in. You're like, get out of the way! I gotta go.
I gotta unload the car. I'm like, oh, I'm missing the pre-show with the Shay. I'm like, okay, I'll catch it on the replay, see what's up. But
yeah, but you got in there. You squeaked in there
just enough. That comment was literally me getting inside.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta go. Yeah, the pre-games are fun. I like doing members pre-games versus, like the post shows. I appreciate that everybody else does a post show, but one, I don't want to run the risk of running into hella dope toys. Yeah, because I've kind of done that in the past, and I don't like walking on people.
You're good about not stepping on them on their time. When
I try to not.
Realization
I try to not. It's a professional courtesy thing, and it's respect amongst friends.
The shared crowd. Yeah.
Well, I am. Thank you. The other thing is doing a pregame allows me to do members only stuff where on the members pregame, I showed one image that no one has seen yet before.
I saw it.
If you know, you know. But we get a hard stop. And so because there's a hard stop, we just get down and dirty and it's fun. But yeah, we got in and out, right? Yeah, it's called actions on the objective. I learned that a long time ago. Yeah, no crossing streams, bitch. Yeah, I try to not. Brad Davenport says DFW was his very first convention, which it was. And I'm very glad he came. And he said, did not disappoint. What about you, my friend? What were your thoughts and feelings on this year's DFW?
So this was my third time going, right? So I moved to Chicago in 2007 from Texas. And so the convention wasn't going at that time. And all those years that either I wasn't collecting Joe or I was just buying, of 82 through 94 stuff and picking up the ones I never had. I finally got to go to the convention, 3 years ago and loved it. I had such a good time. Met Rod and Rudat for the first time at that show and picked up some cool stuff and realized last year, I was like, oh, I can probably be a vendor if, they get this set up. So, folks like me who are not professional vendors can get a table. You can get a 6-foot table, for a certain fee and then be there for the weekend. And so last year I did that and it was awesome, right? Because then you take a break from the table and still go and enjoy the convention and have fun. And I say this year I'm going to do the same thing. Did I have enough stuff that would validate a table this year was the question. And I did. I had stuff that I was going to let go of, that was, some big ticket items to otherwise, one of which you got. And it was fun. So right off the top, Greg Brown, the showrunner, runs a fantastic show. DFW GI Joe and Action Figure Show has grown so much. And he takes the notes, right? So if anybody has notes of oh, I really like this, that this was better than before, or this was lacking, he'll take the notes as far as doing the corrections for the next year. And you can see the notes from last year to this year. I can see just as a vendor from having come in, I could see the difference even from the year before and getting all those designers, getting the voiceover actors from Sunbow. I mean, the artist alley, you can see the leveling up of it as a convention. And so just to be part of that and just kind of go, okay, when I could break from my table and then go and enjoy the show, I was going to go and enjoy the show. And I tried to as much as possible, and I still missed a lot.
Dude, brilliantly stated, all of that. They definitely take feedback and work as diligently as they can to, improve upon. And that's what you want to see. Just try to improve upon things. The new venue was fucking awesome.
Great venue.
Everything about that venue. It had an indoor and outdoor pool. It went through the wall. That was cool. The gym was cool. The fact that everything is right there. They got that. I mean, I didn't do the Starbucks thing at the bar, but it's still there for people who want it. The room where they had the meet and greet and where they held my swap, which was the same room.
That lounge.
Dude, great room. It had a bar. Granted, it was a cash only bar, but it still had a bar. It felt more like a great big hangout than last year. Last year was tucked in this room and you walk in the room and you're like, I feel very claustrophobic in here. So I liked it. What's up, Lawrence? Good to see you, man.
I was part of the trivia at night too. So the trivia that went on, which basically became the guys who knew, 60s, 70s Joe the most versus the rest of us.
Yes.
And I was actually, Josh Eggebein and I were on team with 4 other guys. And one guy was so drunk, he's like, I hope I don't have to answer questions, you guys. I'm going to lose the points. But he was having so much fun just being included.
There's roadblock. It's just
and you could lose points by giving the wrong answer. So it's if you don't know it, don't guess. But you could tell, there's some of those guys knew, the adventure team question. Dang, okay, do we know this one? No. And they knew it, immediately.
Yeah.
But it was fun because of the balance, because then there'd be a Sunbow question, and I wasn't the one on the buzzer, and they're just going, see, come on.
Yeah.
But it was
Greg
so fun.
kept coming up to me hey, you need to do this trivia night thing. And I'm like, nah, I got stuff to do. I'm all over the place. And how many times did I pass you? In a given day. Up, down, all day. I'd be like, I'm not buying anything else. And then I'd walk by these massive bags of stuff.
Oh, I saw you fill the bed in that video of everything. I kept waiting. I can't go, okay, what's next? God, there's 20 minutes left in this video.
I got some good scores. Some of the things were I I had bought a few things from 3 specific vendors, right? So there was Matthew, there was the guy next to Matthew, and then Destro's Toy Den. And I kept going back to those 3. And by Sunday, because I had spent so much with all of them, they were just like, hey, do you want that? And I'm like, nah, I've already got that. And they're like, look, man, $70, just get it out of here. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Like,
I'll help you move it.
Each other's backs. Lunchbox Killa said, I'm going to try to make DFW next year would be my first. Hey, it's the end of May.
It's great.
So it's a perfect time. And, I don't know if you saw this, but I'm just going to hover on this for a second. Yeah.
I didn't see the bartender. I missed
You
it.
didn't see
That's
her?
funny. No, I wasn't there. That's funny.
I mean, whatever. Yeah, she's, I wish my wife was there, but yes, she was quite pretty.
My wife wasn't there either, but we're allowed to look and go appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's like when you don't buy
still
something.
had a very hot
Appreciate
bartender.
that,
Yes, they did.
Got that at home.
Random Diorama, who we also got to see and hang out with, says there were lots of hidey holes you could go off into. Yeah. Hail to the Giga Chad and to the chat. Thanks, Titan. Good to see you. Our good friend Hector from Elite Legends Toys and Collectibles is here and says, is this stream available in Hispanic American vernacular captions? Asking for an amigo.
Sí, un poquito.
See? No, I got nothing. But
I like
but
the
you're
layout there
welcome.
too. Like the hotel clearly has that layout very specifically for how to get into the ballroom by going through this way, and how the lounge is set up from the front check-in. Like, so as somebody who didn't stay in the hotel and who only like came in because I was staying in West Fort Worth with my friend, and so I'd come in and have the parking spot. Maybe like that's the one thing that I remember telling Greg on Saturday. I said, "Ain't no parking." And it's not even 10 o'clock yet for when the doors officially open before the early bird. There was no parking on Saturday morning.
That's kind of the thing. Yeah.
That's the hotel, but that's also a success of the show. We say, look, if we've helped fill out that parking lot, then we're doing pretty good for Saturday morning.
And if you're staying at that hotel and you want to leave and go get some chow and come back.
Yeah.
Right. It's literally fucking Thunderdome.
I was parked by the subway, which was across
on your own, man. Yeah. Master Blaster.
But yeah, it was a success in that way. Like I think that everything was laid out cool. It was brilliant looking hotel. So
yeah. Apparently I need more toys. I did get
John knows
100% complete Toxo Lab from some dude we all know.
So there was one person who was he didn't show irritation, but he told me, he's like, do you still have that? And I was like, no. And I sold to so and so. Oh, okay. And I was just like, I didn't tell him, but I'm like, I communicate with Chad all the time. I haven't seen you since the show last year. Like, it's like, I don't know what to say. So I didn't tell him that, but that's kind of what it was. And like, I gave you the price of what I wanted. And then I gave you the price, like, okay, here's the price because it's you, because you're my friend. And this is me telling you, everybody else, Chad paid full price to me. He was very kind about it. He knows my situation with like, even like, so my mom is in a care center now, and I'm clearing some stuff out in Texas that has been either in storage or at home and can't go up here. And I have, one room to operate with. So there's things I can and can't do, which is why my childhood Terradrome was up for sale. And I actually have another that I got just like a month ago from my local Chicago store. And it took me 2 years to decide if I could fit it in here, not about the money, but about the space. But with the Toxo Lab, we're joking ages ago where Chad's, I don't need that. I don't need Toxo Lab. But then at one point, so, because it's you, I might do it. I might do it because it's you. And you stuck to that. Yeah. You stuck to your guns. And that's something that people here that hear you and see you, I think, know generally is you stick to your guns and you're a man of your word. And that was great. And I really appreciated that, because just from the outset, I said, okay, the show is going to be great. But from here forward, like, you're you. And it was just cool. And I really appreciate that. And I want to make sure I thank you on here. So.
Well, thanks, my friend. I appreciate that. Yeah. And exactly what you said, like, hey, I got this Toxo Lab. It's fucking mint. Do you want it? And I'm like, I never really wanted a Toxo Lab. And then you're like, well, I'm like thinking on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but it's like Jeff's Toxo Lab. And I'm like, many things in my collection, this was somebody's childhood this, or this was somebody's that, and I'm like, yeah, that would be cool. Because then every time I look at it, I'd be like, I got that from my buddy Jeff. So
I do that with stuff like my friend who passed away in 2020. He died of a diabetic attack and he was 39 years old. And we used to go toy shopping together and he was great. And now there's times when if I see something, I'll just kind of go, oh, dude, cool, check it out. Because it's like I say it as if he's there looking at it because I would have texted him a picture of it. I would have talked to him about it. Instead, he just kind of enjoy as if the person's there with you about it. Because I can say, even in this room, I go, oh, he got me this, he got me that, he got me that. And I think that let's make certain stuff special. It's not just about the stuff, but it's about the memories the stuff has. And so, especially when the stuff that I'm letting go from childhood a little bit, okay, can I get another one? Do I want it? And even it's interesting to think like this was how long we spent with childhood items. And this is how long we'll spend as adulthood with items. So the length is so much longer, but because you go, oh, that was the one that I had when I was 5, when I was 10, like whatever. It's just a different hook. And so to have that hook stay into it and have it be hooking into someone else in such a way, I think is pretty cool. I really do. Yeah. You got my Badger last year, the 91 Badger, because yours went to Mython the Python that you customized for him. And so like, it's just, it lives in, in the same space, kind of. There it is. Yeah, and I kept that flag on it. I couldn't believe that little flag was right off.
Out of all the shit that's still in boxes in this fucking nightmare behind me. Right?
It ain't a bad vehicle. Yeah, I never thought it was a problem. I just think,
right?
Last year, I was
it's about the bonds and the memories, not just like, I'm looking at a fucking toy. Which I think a lot of people lose track of these days. It's all about pre-orders and Target exclusives and, all that bullshit.
Pressure. The companies put pressure on you need to be at this time to get the exclusive because 30 minutes after that, it's sold out. And they put pressure on people to
engineered scarcity. Right. It builds hype. And that's really what it's about anymore. Because, I mean, really, when we look at marketing and toys, you don't see like where are the cartoons? Where's the syndication? Where's the, oh, I got to get home and watch this. Now we live in a world of everything is streaming service. There really is no like, oh, if I don't catch it, So, yeah, the world has changed in regard to that. But, yeah, the being a rat at the feeder bar kind of thing, like, oh, if I don't catch this live stream, I'm not going to be able to pre-order this one figure. It's dumb, man. It's dumb.
It bumped me out of the new stuff in many ways. There's new things I still get, but I get really upset about it.
To each their own. We're not shitting on the people who are all about that stuff. That's great. I mean, I kind of do the same with eBay, right? So there's times where like I'm on eBay and I'm counting something down and I'm like, I'm gonna win this shit.
It's the opposite. That's when that's closing and you have to get it at close as opposed to the opening bell. Yeah. Like, I mean, I just bought, here's one. I'll go do a show off. Like I just bought that guy, right? Like I ordered it from Entertainment Earth because I bought the others. I bought Falcon Jinx and 2 Royal Guards from Super 7. And this one wasn't available on Super 7 until like this weekend. But this went so fast because everybody had wanted this one for, 38 years. And just I thought, okay, well, I'll get it. I don't want a chance getting it later. And I haven't even been home to have time to open it, but it's here and I enjoy it. And it's a new toy. Yeah. But then similarly at DFW, I bought this, new toy for, $10. And it's a great looking Destro that I just never had.
He's so good.
I had the comic book colors ones, but I didn't have this one. So like sometimes you can wait and find it years later. And other times you just know you can't. And I think that's the pressure Classified puts on, this pressure a lot of the new stuff puts on.
Yeah, and it's engineered that way. But like the Sergeant Savage P40 Warhawk, I love that vehicle. And I waited and I waited and I waited. And Tom Miller, Tom Miller.
Do it I'll do it with this. It's just right off camera.
Tom Miller, who always comes in the chat as Rock Viper. Yeah, Tom Miller had one. And I'm not even going to say the price. I generally don't like to talk money because I think it takes away from other, aspects of why the piece is cool.
Yeah.
But he was selling one. And again, I got a rad item from a friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then for my birthday, Jacob Real, who came with me to DFW, who's always in the chats, very supportive, he gave me for my birthday or Christmas. I don't know. Jacob, if you're in the chat, please correct me. I thought it was for my birthday. Maybe it was Christmas. I want to say it was Christmas because his woman opened it. Thought it was for her. He gifted me a sealed one. And it's still sealed. So yeah.
Cool.
George Vegas here, who's a phenomenal artist. It was wonderful to see George at DFW again. And he says, I'm the mayor of DFW. No, that would be Greg. Greg worked his ass off, dude.
There's Jacob in the chat.
There's Jacob right there.
He says it was Christmas.
Christmas. Yep, Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got
I
to meet Jacob too. He's a good dude.
I try to not skip too much of the chat. Hey, speaking of people that we got to meet Abby from Figure Fight Club. That was cool.
Sure did.
And his not alter ego. That wasn't Abby. Yeah.
And it was his first time at
the movies. We'll watch the replay. Thank you, my friend. Maybe he already left. I don't know. What are you going to see? I'm the viceroy of DFW. Like Newt Gunray? Do I have to speak like that? I don't know.
Oh gosh,
Abby, what are you going to see, dude?
All about
Jurassic
the Trade Federation.
World. Yeah.
Jurassic
The man
World.
and I saw that Friday. It was pretty fun.
Fun. I figured those are fun. I haven't seen the last two. I've been off a couple movies, so I'm behind.
I don't really want to get into dino movie talk, but
Yeah.
you know, they spliced dinosaurs on this, you know, this site.
I learned
we don't need you
I learned
canceled.
the
No,
word.
I'm not going to show a dinosaur. You know what I mean? But
I learned the word splicing because the GI Joe the movie, where it's like the line gets cut, where Gung Ho, Alpine, and Bazooka are doing it, and he said nothing like on the job training, and he's saying keep splicing, keep splicing. That's, I mean, I think I was 8 years old. That's when I learned splice, and it's fun when you can trace back something like that.
The alarm?
That word came from that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's do some housekeeping super quick. Triple D's Dungeon sends a $2 super sticker. Thank you very much, my friend. Good to see you in the members only pregame as well. J Creations NY Toy Visuals. Thank you for becoming channel members or renewing your channel membership. It's always weird. It doesn't ever really say what's what. And Vargo, our good friend, who also made a one-day freaking turn and burn to DFW just on Sunday.
I got to meet him on
awesome.
Sunday. Yep.
It was so good to see him again. I haven't seen Mr. Vargo in 2 years. And we picked up like I saw him last week. So it was wonderful to see him. Thank you for the $5 silent super chat. It's a silent auction. And then I gifted 5 channel memberships because I can. Yeah. So congratulations to everyone who won those. Jimmy Purvis, channel member for 11 months. Thank you very much for your service. Says, picked up an 83 headquarters. Is Toy Hacks the place to get my repro decals? Awesome. And yes, Toy Hacks. If you need help finding the link, let me know and I will hook you up, dude.
Chad may need to do that with the Toxo Lab if he's going to actually put the original stickers on, because I gave him the original stickers that have come off in Texas Heat. They were inside, you know, the center canister, but they're not going to stick anymore. So repros would be the way to go.
Maybe I'll just leave them in there. Maybe that's just part of their charm. I don't know. I'm going to do whatever I want. I might fill it with Kool-Aid
out of the stew.
Because now I know the joys of drinking Kool-Aid from tap. Way better than the shit that you stir up. So, thank you, Jimmy, for using your Chad chat, and congratulations on your 83 headquarters, my dude. Wilhelm, channel member for 14 freaking months, man. Will's a good dude. I hope Will comes to DFW next year, which is at the end of May. Will, you can come. It says, hello, y'all.
I'm hopeful I can come next year and be to see everybody again, too.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yep. And then Brad Davenport says, Suka sucks. Oh, wait, I was going to come back to this one. Sorry, this is going to be my segue. We're going to edit that part out, okay? We're going to edit that out. Triple D's Dungeons, $5 super chat. Again, thank you very much, my friend. Says, Legend Series Wrestling Alliance, No Limit Champ. He's living that. He's living it. Thank you for the super
belt,
chat.
throwing it down on the table.
And Figure Fight Club channel member for 8 months. He already left us. Sorry you already left. Says, Viceroy of DFW and the Chatty Holes. Oh, now we're Chatty Holes? Okay. Thank you. Chad Holes. Yes. Trademark me. And Stu, channel member for 1 month. Thank you for your membership. Stu says, much love to the Chad Holes. Much love to you, my friend. Yeah. You got to hang out with Suka, yeah?
Just because. I did. I actually got to spend time with him. Yeah, it was cool. Wasn't
It's
a
a
lot
rad
of time,
time.
but like at the swap meet in particular, that's where I got to see him the most. Yeah.
Dude, that swap meet this year was fucking nuts.
It was lit.
Like
People were
last
like,
year
boom,
was
let's go.
last year was good. This year we had at one point, I would argue that we had more people than the meet and greet did the night before.
You
Wasn't
had
counting
every
heads,
table. I see
just
you.
looking at
I
the
mean,
room.
the room had every table that could have people showing stuff at it, pretty much at every table.
Yeah, every
There was guys
horizontal
there
space
that
was
only
full of
came
shit.
in to bring their stuff to that swap meet.
Yeah.
Like they weren't a vendor at the show. They said, "Here, I'm at the swap meet, and I brought this stuff."
Yeah.
And I got a few things.
That's the brilliance of Greg. Like he was really pushing that message that if you don't have a ticket to come to the show, you can still come to the swap. You can sell stuff, buy stuff, swap things. Brilliant. It was
That's what I would
brilliant.
do if I'm not a vendor next year. Like if I'm just a commander's package, holder, which is I would be.
Yeah.
That's what I would do exactly. Is just bring stuff to the swap meet also.
Dude, people
I'm already
were
gonna
setting up in that
enjoy it.
swap like an hour before it even kicked off. Like they had
That's
like
cool.
nice displays and shit. And I was like,
A few people had some big stuff, and I know you saw some of those big stuff tables.
I got that
snapped a couple
F-22.
pictures. I'm like, oh, here's 2 chatter in. I'll send him that one.
Speaking of somebody who's a freaking enabler, Suka kept coming up and he's like, dude, you should buy that. And I'm like, but I have the GI Joe Thunderwing. That's, it's an F-22. It's a little fatter and whatever, because it has a little electronic fun inside of it. He's like, yeah, man, you should, you know how much those are going for on eBay. And I'm like, no, dude, don't tell me, because then I'm going to go buy it. And I bought it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
whatever.
I'll
I'll do something cool with it. He was like, dude, you should buy it. Turn it into Starscream. And I'm like, I already have a 1/18 scale Starscream, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of Suka sucks, I wanted to move on to something still related to DFW, but also follow-ups on 2 projects that are being worked on that I stressed we're really gonna get ironed out at DFW. And speaking of Suka sucking, which he doesn't suck, he's rad as hell. This is Greg Bernston, Suka, obviously myself, and then if you see background, there's Quentin J. Bedwell right back there.
And you got Bob Swanson in the blue shirt.
Just because I can. There's Quentin.
On
There's
the
Jeff
side.
W. Yeah, Bob Swanson is right there. Yeah. So anyway, Suka and Greg Bernston and I, and Kirk Bazigian and Bob Swanson to a degree, it was kind of all, once we started talking about it, all the heads were like, wait, what? You're doing what? Yeah. And we really hashed out a lot of the details of the march mostly with Greg. Greg had a lot of great ideas, and we were talking about, oh, well, is it this? And is it this? And should we do this? And how about that? And the best part of the night was Greg just looks over and goes, look, just make it fun. Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you for saying that. He's like, as long as it's fun, this stuff should be fun. And then, of course, I had to be me, right? And I had to say,
in comedy, they said the same thing, right? They say, if you make it real, it'll be funny. Don't try to be funny. Try to be real, and it'll be funny. And so this seems like the toy version of that. Make it fun, and then it'll be right.
Yeah,
I like that.
Triple D says, big props to Bob Swanee, for photobombing Chad instead of the other way. I got some good photobombs in. Make no mistake, I got a few really good ones. But yes, props to Bob Swanson for photobombing us. But
Bob Swanson was a nice guy too. I met him and got him to I got him to sign my Major Storm card, and it's the Canadian version. And that's so awesome. It's uncut, so it actually said that he is not a living person that hasn't existed. And I just love that.
That's super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother Slug, your first buy at DFW was cool. Wasn't that in the second live action movie?
Second buy. First buy.
The Crimson Assault Copter? It was not. My first purchase was a Crimson Assault. Yeah. Helicopter. That was not in GI Joe Retaliation. No. But yeah, that was a good purchase. Oh, Kaiju Kitty's here. What's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Thank you for being here.
Greg was the one designer I didn't get to meet and talk to. So like I realized that when I needed to go meet the designers, it was Sunday. And last year I didn't. Last year I ran out of time all of a sudden, and I was focused on the table and whatnot. this year I said I have to go, and I went during the Vala panel because I was like, so many people are off the show floor for the Vala
God,
panel.
yeah. You literally feel like the air gets sucked out when Vala has a panel.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Greg was talking to somebody each time. I was, meeting everybody else instead. So Greg was the one person that I didn't get to meet.
Yeah. We got to hang out with Woody 222.
Yeah, I met Woody. Yep.
Yeah, it was fun to hang out with Woody.
Woody's cool.
Very boisterous guy. Very fun. Yeah.
I was getting everybody to sign my.
We got to hang out with them too.
Is that Amy and is her name Amy? No.
It's the Slades. Just know them as the Slades.
I forget. Well, because were they vendors at the show too, across from the toy den?
No, they were just there all over the place. But yeah,
okay, because there's
trumps all.
A pair of vendors, and I thought she was the wife.
No, dude, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it walk away.
Suka is the best, actually. Well, actually, he's the best.
Actually,
yes, he is the best. Thank you for that. So. Got a lot of good input, feedback, ideas, directions on the March with Greg Bernston. And again, Bob Swanson and Kirk Bazigian kind of in there as well.
The Fountain. Yeah.
Matthew Matson, we got to hang out with him too. All the awesome faces we haven't seen in a while. I took Greg over to check out the Robo Skull and he loved it. Yeah. It's an impressive toy. There's only one thing I would change about the Robo Skull, but whatever. It's all good.
I like when we can show the designer something, right? So like I got to talk to Frank Corneos and had a good time, right? And all of a sudden their food gets there, like in their burgers. And he's like, no, stay. It's fine. I can eat while we're talking. And so he just started eating the burger and we're talking. And I said something about the hammer. And he's like, yeah, I designed that. And I said, oh, I know. I said, it said something about the Deke show opening. He said, oh, I've never seen that. I said, you've never seen it? You never seen the opening of the show? Oh, we have to show it. And I pulled it up.
You never saw your hammer animated?
He said he'd never seen it. Dan Klingesmith later was like, what, really? I sent him the DVDs. I was like, well, if he hadn't plugged them in, then maybe not. But he sat and watched it and he wrote down the title of the video we were watching so you can look at it again later. And he was like, oh, there's the Avalanche. And he was just getting excited as a designer to have seen that 1990 these were put on screen, and like the hammer gets such a great, like it's in every third shot of that intro.
And the general.
Frank had never seen it apparently, so like he was just digging on it. I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad I showed him that.
Frank is such an awesome guy. And there was something about Frank Coronius all weekend. I'd just be standing there and I hear this, hey, there's Chad right there. And I turn around and he's just like, how he walks like this? And I'm like, what's up, Frank? And he's just like, hey, yeah. That dude, he's a very kind man. He said a lot of awesome stuff. It's weird when you're standing with somebody and they're talking to somebody else, but they're talking about you and you feel like grandpa, like you're in the room and they're like, oh yeah, this guy's really awesome. And he does a lot for blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go. But yeah, Frank is a phenomenal guy. Life Rants podcast. What's up, man? It says, hey, Chad, missed you again. Maybe next year. Missed me where at DFW? How do you miss me? I'm sorry.
Chad was everywhere.
You know what? I did get a lot this year. I get it every year. And I figured maybe it would start dying down. I didn't realize you were that tall.
That's what I felt last year. Yeah. It doesn't show on camera. You can't tell. Like I look big because I'm all of a sudden sitting higher on the screen.
But even if I wasn't sitting in a chair, let's say I was at a standing desk, you wouldn't know because I'm not occupying your physical space.
Yeah.
But yes. And I always say I'm very tall.
And then people 4.5 terror drones.
Yeah, you are really tall. Yeah.
Thanks.
A little bit. Jedi
also wear
Ben,
glasses.
what's up?
Sometimes.
Sorry, go ahead.
You also wear glasses sometimes, as do I. So like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But not 2 feet from a monitor. I don't. Yeah. But apparently the when I met Woody and Shane, the Clark Kent didn't work this year. It didn't work because
there he is.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, there's Chad. And I'm like, Clark Kent. You gotta go, motherfucker. Jedi Ben, good to see you, man. Made it late. I'll catch the replay. Hey, man, replay squad is always loved. That's what gets live streams the views. So I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
If you wear a fez like Maximilian Tucker, yeah, you gave him taller.
Taller than who?
Maximilian. Max.
Yeah, I'm not at the bottom of the chat. I don't want to skip people. You know how it is. I'll see that shit in like 20 minutes. But
no, he's not here.
Yeah, Matthew said Frank is awesome. He gets going and doesn't stop. Yeah, he does. He definitely does. Yeah. Christopher Bay Stormbringer says pie and punch. Hardy har. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Better late than never. Mother Slug says it was a great show as to what I saw. Only thing I will say is next time maybe get a better camera. It wasn't the camera, dude. It's the signal in that building.
That signal was rough. Yep.
It's shit. It is shit because I was filming in 4K 60 frames per second. It's not the camera. That it's something about too much movement and dead spots in that building. It did suck, and I am sorry, but that was one of the things that a lot of people gave Greg feedback over was that the Wi-Fi in the hotel, you couldn't connect to it. It didn't matter where you were, you couldn't connect to it. So not in rooms, not on the floor.
It just wouldn't load the payment app. I was like, well, let's do the other one.
They Thursday when we got there, they said they were trying to put out some fires because they couldn't connect to the internet.
Rough.
So yeah. I wish that wasn't the case, trust me, because I invested in the gimbal and the fucking lapel mics and everything, and the internet was shit. I literally did 3 live streams with OTA, right, over the air. I was just using like the 2 bars of 5G that I had. Sorry.
You can tell the difference in the third one, even though it's just in the room, like because the signal doesn't affect it with it minimal moving, that there's no blur in that third one when you're in the hotel room just showing the stuff. But yeah, when the other things show up and you're just like, yeah, that's the signal acting up. Because your audio through the whole time was great.
It sucked a little bit. Yeah. Woody got a picture of the Mean Dog autographed by Frank. Hell yeah, dude. That's fantastic. Very, very cool. Frank's
That's
amazing. Awesome. DFW. Yeah,
I got
chat was everywhere.
Countdown. I got the countdown figure layout.
I don't feel I was everywhere. I was just doing.
Just there. Yeah.
I bought a lot of shit.
I couldn't believe how much. You look at that video and go, okay, yeah. That's why he drives and still flies. Also.
Well, I mean, you know, aside from the fact that planes suck, they get delayed, they lose your luggage, and they crash.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why I drive. But I missed that Defiant.
Well, that went the first 10 minutes, probably, right? Yeah, they went opening. They said they sold the Defiant. They sold a flag. Like one guy bought both of them. You know?
And a Terror Drum. And an 83 headquarters. He bought like all of that. He made a deal for everything. And
that's why you go to the show sometimes. You say, I ain't shipping none of that. I'm getting it all and going home. And you
good on him.
Maybe get a nice guy discount on it too. So.
I do not hate the player, nor do I hate the game. And I will say, Greg does a lot for vendors, as you know, right? Being a vendor and an attendee, he highlights vendors all the time before the show.
All day, every day.
He shows images of like, this is what this vendor's bringing. You know somebody. Oh, are you showing your vendor's pass? Hold on 1 second.
You got the commander pass. Or no, you got the press badge.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh,
staff. That's right. I remember seeing it go, oh, that's right.
I don't know why I got a staff pass. I'm like, I don't work here. Fucking staff.
Like, well, we named the swap meet after you. And you get to go film, and like the film is press
whatever.
Also too. So
I do want to say real quick for everybody hanging out with us, Jeff, do you want to do a giveaway?
Giveaway to the chat? Yes.
You want to do a giveaway? Okay.
Let's
so since I bought an entire case because every year somebody's like, hey, can you get me the exclusive? Hey, can you get me? So I got a whole freaking case of these. So we're going to give one away tonight. Cool.
Crimson Shadow.
And this time I bought a sealed case. So there is at least one of the variants in there. So we'll do a giveaway. I'll set that up here in just a minute. But yeah, Greg Bernston, awesome conversation. We talked a lot about March, and Suka's got a lot of great ideas. So we're moving forward on the March with
Suka's a man of ideas too. It's excellent to be able to have the conduit with those guys that y'all do. I think it's great. great.
Yeah. Doomed was like, yeah, you were tall. I'm sorry, man. That's just how it is. That's how it goes. So yeah, awesome conversations regarding the march. Moving on to a much larger scale project. Guy Cassidy, Duarte, and I sat there. I want to say an hour. I don't know. Vishay should be here in the chat, but Vishay filmed like physically filmed video of the three of us just beating up this Cobra Island playset. We talked about the roof and, because the roof being the top of the mountain, and when that folds down into a helipad, and how would you really do that? Because if it's craggy, is it going to be level and this and that and all the sides? And Duarte's like, oh, well, I don't want to give much away, but I can do this and I can do that. And, we talked about colorways at length. Guy and Greg were both like, we never did color studies. Like, we made a model. The whole thing was gray. It went in the basement. It disappeared. Nobody knows where it went. It was never seen again. But Guy, being as freaking awesome as Guy is and on board as he is, he's like, okay, if you guys want to make my playset, I will do a color study and I'll send it to you guys. So the colors that this playset will be are coming directly from Guy Cassidy, which I could not have been more excited about. Oh,
Guy is such a humble person too. Like, when I met him, I just said, it's so great to meet you. And you guys should be treated like the rock stars you are for this world, for the work that you did, for the seeds that you planted in people to still be designers now and to be going. He was just like, well, thank you. I try. And I was like, you're doing it. I was like, everyone's here. And he just seemed very taken aback by me complimenting him that way. But he also seems like he's a quieter person than some of the other folks, like compared to Frank. And,
he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool like the Kirks and the Franks or the Vinny DeLevias. Vinny's very much like, hey.
Yeah.
The thing with Guy, every time I'd see him, so he and I had an initial conversation because I've talked with him over emails and stuff for a while about Cobra Island, but we've never met in person.
Yeah.
And so when we did, I walked up to him and it was him and Greg. And so all three of us really started this in-person Cobra Island conversation. Every time I would see Guy after that, he'd be like, Alan, right? And I'm like, nah, Chad, but close. Like, okay, I'll get it right next time. Every time it was, he finally got there around Saturday night. He was like, oh, it's Chad. Yeah.
Greg Berger remembered my name the next day. Like, I met Greg Berger Saturday morning, and he's Cutter, he's Spirit, he's Ripcord, he's Sparks. But he Orson from Garfield and Friends. Like, I was chatting with him and just so glad.
Wasn't he Grimlock too?
And who?
Grimlock.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He does a Grimlock voice when he's signing, even if you're not getting Grimlock.
I saw
signed,
that. I saw a video of someone talking to him and he did Grimlock. Yeah.
He's so nice, right? And he's so cool. But even the next day, I was, hey, good to see you, Greg. Thanks for coming to the show. He's like, Jeff, right? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, hey, remember my name? That's just kind. I met him once. We talked for 10 minutes. And then, I see him throughout the show. But I don't know how many times I said my name once, but he remembered. And that was really, really cool. Brad's
Speaking of everybody who was at the show, Brad says, I can't stand the Dreadnoks as a band. Yeah, because Cold Slither's dumb. Individual results may vary. If you like it, don't get upset. But their creator was a very nice guy. I had many interactions with him. Super nice guy. Well, yeah, because Brad was hanging out with everybody out in the smoking area. That's where Brad.
Michael Charles Hill was smoking. Yeah, he was coming and going a lot. I saw him enter and leave the room a lot. Yeah.
Livingstone says, Chad Holes, good to see you, my friend. He is also a Chad. Don't let him fool you. And he was on with Wilhelm earlier. Yeah. So, good dude. I guess somebody came up to me and said that they were talking with Michael Charles Hill, right? That's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I had walked by and he was like, so that Chad guy. And I guess he went on this thing about me and what I do and my disdain for fucking Cold Slither. But he I don't know.
It's not against you, the writer, the creator. Yeah.
I heard it secondhand, whatever. It's just apparently it's funny. So he was like, Yeah, that's that guy.
Because he's so taken aback by its popularity anyway. He's so glad to be part of like this whirlwind that's happened with it. And Lisa Raggio was absolutely that way. She was so kind and nice. And, a couple of years ago, she had no idea that people cared about Saranda stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love that like these
sweetest,
folks get this extra bonus in life, at this age for them. That's just got to be this blessing. That's so cool.
Yeah, she's the sweetest. Dan's got to go. Dan, we'll see you in a little bit. I hope you enjoy the replay. Yeah, Vache says the signal in the hotel was nasty work. It sucked. It really, really did. So, yeah, building had bad internet. That's, that's on the hotel, but I know Greg really did hammer them like, you guys got to like beef this shit up. So
it was cool that Duarte got to be in too. I never met him, so I got to meet him briefly. He was coming and going, so we get to say hey just once or twice. And like when he and Articulated Ninja were going out to catch their flight, I was just like, man, it's already over. Like I remember when they were like literally going, yeah, we got to catch our flight. That was Sunday afternoon. I thought, man, Joe Show's over.
It was so good to see Ninja again. It was so good to see everybody, just every single face. And there were these two little kids, and they were the sweetest kids. And I was like, hey, do you want to sign my poster? And they were like, yeah, like they were super jazzed about it. That's what I love about the posters, man. To me, it really is that bridge between, oh, I've seen you on YouTube. Like, that's great, but I'm not like the YouTube guy. Like, I'm just an enthusiast like everybody else. Like, would you like to sign my poster? Because we met in person and it's meaningful to me. So
I did that with my Joey of Joe Con book, right? Like I was never part of Joe Con. I've never been to Joe Fest, but like I bought the book 2 years ago, and last year I brought it to the show, and you and the man were two of the first people I got to sign it. Like it was Friday night, and like I'm at my table, and boom, like, and so it's two of you, and then John and Mikey Kukovic, and all of a sudden it's like I'm getting everybody to sign it who I interact with, and this year even more people who I missed last year I thought would get signed this year, and the new people, and just start filling up. By the time I get like I'm at third page already. And it's just that feeling of going, it's the yearbook of the annual. Like as we used to do as kids through high school, like sign my yearbook. I'll see you, enjoy the summer, like whatever it is. And the guys who are the designers, they get to have that reunion. They get to have that fun of coming back together, especially those who were there last year. And then Guy and Mark Pennington getting to join this year and go, hey, we're going to do it next year. And it becomes that reunion that's more frequent than your class reunion. And you start to know more people who are now in the class with you because they're the class of Joe. And that's what's fun. And they make fun stuff too.
Oh yeah. My three favorite.
Is that Chad's internet or is that mine? I can't tell if Chad is frozen or if that's me. Anybody in the chat? Can you tell? Is it me? Chad's frozen. He's saying, hey. If it's just me, then I'll say, hey, so I've worked on a reunion team before, and come back, give back is the phrase that pays, because it's not just about what you felt before, it's about what you feel now. And the fact that people can be cared about now from what they did before, and the fact that they can be part of community. Chad hates that word, but we use it while he's frozen. It's about what you feel now. With Joe, it's not just I loved it as a kid, but it's I love it now, and it gives this to me now, and I build my life with it this way now. And for me, it's like, okay, this is stuff mostly I didn't have as a kid, but I'll accentuate something like that shuttle that's up there. Where is it? Right there. Right there. That's a shuttle I did have as a kid. I got that from Christmas 1989, but it's part of this world here with things I've acquired since then because it's stuff that matters now. And having met Chad online, and then be able to meet him face to face at a show, last year, and see him again this year. Like you say, hey, what's up? You greet folks with a hug that you just go, oh, there's people I work with on the regular that I don't get to see, or I don't care about the same frequency that I see these people, once a year. There he comes.
Well, my internet just decided that it didn't want to work for a second.
You got that hotel internet. I just like I'm gonna chat about stuff while you're gone. So I chat about coming.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah.
I like being here. Anyway, my three favorite signature stories this year were: one, the kids blew me away. The kids blew me away. Two, I got Kirk Bazigian to sign that Law soap on a rope that I found.
Great. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, for anybody who's here in the chat who didn't hear this story yet, I got one of the 90s lunch boxes. It has the 1993 Ghost Striker X16 on the cover of it. Kirk's favorite Joe vehicle ever, my favorite Joe aircraft. I got him to sign the lunchbox. Yeah. And I said, well, one more thing, right? And I opened the lunchbox and he's like, you know how Kirk is? He's like, oh, get out of here with that, Chad. And I'm like, no, it's it, right? This is you. Have you ever seen this freaking soap? Like, it's Law soap on a rope. That's literally your face, and people are scrubbing their bodies with it. He had never seen that. Never.
So funny. It's marketing.
So he signed the soap, and he's like, get out of my face. So, the third one.
I love Kirk for that, right? Because he is a character who is beloved too, and also got marketed enough that can happen to him differently. Like, oh, it's not just a one-off character. It was a character who was a big pin in the 87 line.
Oh, yeah. The third one would be, this is nothing negative against the guy. It's just funny. So I don't want anybody to take it as I'm like ripping on him. I was the sponsor of Ron and Ginny Rudat. My face is on their poster. I asked Ron to sign my show poster. He charged me $30. And I walked away and I looked at Suka and I was like, he charged me $30 to sign that. And Suka's like, didn't you fucking sponsor him? I was like, yeah, I did. Sorry. And they knew it. They knew I was their sponsor because we were joking about how my face is right behind them the whole time. Yeah. They didn't give a shit. Still charge me. And I'm like, good for you. That's commerce.
Ron sticking to it too. Yeah.
See, this motherfucker, as soon as I leave, he's like, yeah, so that Chad guy. Yeah. Chad Ryan is buying Cold Slither at Comic-Con. It's going to be pricey. Yeah, and then we're going to reenact the scene in Anchorman where Jack Black kicks Baxter over the bridge. And I'm going to be like, well, now this is happening. Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Like what you like. I always say that. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean I'm going to shit on it if you like it.
And Chad has to really, really love you if he tries to get one of those at Comic-Con and get it to you, because he's rarely going to put his hands on it.
Yeah. I've had a few people reach out to me. Hey, can you get me like this exclusive or that exclusive? I say yes. I say yes. If I can, I will get it for you. But a lot of these things are lotteries now.
Yeah, they are.
Like, you got to get in the lottery just to get in line. Yeah. I have a running list in the notepad on my phone of people who have asked me to get them stuff. It was the same with, the Praetorian Furies. If I can, I will. If I can, I will. If I can, I will. I walked up to the Valverse booth, just like I always will for people. And I said, hey, like, what's the limit? Well, the answer was, well, within reason.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll come back. They got more than enough. They got a fucking pallet in the back.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll come back. I'm not going to get nuts about it. So later on, I came back when things calmed down. I was like, so like within reason, can I get a case? Can I get a sealed case this time? Sure. Okay. Done. Got a sealed case. Took it up to my room. Done. Check that off.
Case? Is that 10, 12? How many is a case?
20.
20. Okay.
Yeah. So I got a case. I got everybody covered who asked me to get them one. I got one for myself. And I got a couple for giveaways. So we're going to give one away today. And then, we'll just go from there. So, and then if I have some left over after that, then I'll give those away too.
That's good. It's good to be able to give away once in a while too. You can go, you know what? I can get this to somebody who will really love it. And that's today.
I'm also that kind of person where I'm trying to phrase this right. Trying to get the verbiage just right. Even though there are some shit stirrers, there are some pretty fucking shady people around from time to time in every fandom, in every hobby. It's not just toys, it's not just GI Joe. I genuinely feel that most people will always do the right thing.
That's the hope.
I would like to believe that most people will do the right thing, to include, if you've already got one of these, I would hope that people wouldn't try to get one for free if they've already got one. I think that they would leave that for the people who didn't get them. I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm just saying I think people would do that. I never go into somebody else's live stream and ever, hashtag whatever for their giveaways. I'll put hashtag some shit, but I don't. No.
If I don't collect a line, it doesn't matter who's giving it away. I don't get it just because I want a freebie, because I want my freebie karma to go to the freebie I really, really would want to get. And if I go, I'm going to get this for so-and-so, I'd go in for that. I would go in to go, if I win it, then I'm going to mail it to this person. But if I have no interest in it or no touch base for it, I'm going to let that go to somebody else. Because I always think too, this stuff has energy. Every bit has energy. If you miss it, oh man, you could just be kicking rocks and be so upset and just mad. I can't believe it. They only have 50 and I didn't get it and I deserve one and blah, blah, blah. But someone else has the positive end of that. Even though you're at the negative end, they have the positive, and they're going to miss something else. Even if there's somebody you say, well, that person gets everything, blah, blah, blah. Eventually they don't. There's things that sit there and wait for the right person. There are things you go, wow, no one bought this. So it comes to me and I take the positive energy. But if I miss that other one, and sometimes maybe you had your hand on it and go, oh, I had it. And then 5 minutes later it's gone and someone else got it. But that positive energy went with that collector. And so it's okay because it's still in the world and you'll get something else, just maybe not that one.
No, look, collector karma is the thing. It's 100% the thing.
It's real.
I didn't get the Defiant at DFW. Do I need an entire Defiant? No. I need the blue doors, right? Mm-hmm. Those freaking blue doors, they're made out of that plastic in that color. They're fragile. Everybody knows it. If you have a Defiant, if you've been after a Defiant, the blue doors are hard to find. Yeah. I would have bought that entire Defiant, and I would have taken my 70% Defiant and this Defiant and made 100% Defiant. That's how it goes sometimes. I didn't get it. I'm glad for the person who did get it. But because I truly believe in collector karma, I'm not going to show all of it. I'm going to block out some of this. But look what I found right after. You see the doors? It's kind of hard to see the rest of it, but you can see the doors. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing about this. Now, granted, I understand it's the screen is kind of blown out. It's just the crawler, no shuttles, but it's the complete crawler.
That's what you want.
The ladders, the elevators, the gantries, everything except for the shuttles. Well, I have pretty minty freaking shuttles, so everything comes around. And now I found just the crawler.
I'm the opposite on the crawler. I have no space for it, and I know it's value and I know it's fragility, but I have no space for it. And so I'm not going to pay just to have it. But when I had the opportunity to get the shuttle with the booster command center, those two, and even though they're missing some pieces, I said, okay, some of those pieces are going to be fun to just go get, but I want the shuttles, right? And I had the childhood shuttle, I've got the one that I had from childhood for the Crusader, but now I've got a Defiant too. And I got the Defiant shuttle over here. And so the people who want the thing, you kind of go, how can I cultivate to let someone else have the thing? So if you get it all, you go, you know what? I would let the shuttles go to somebody who would want those.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what I would have done if I got that 100% complete Defiant. Mine's, mine just needs the doors. It even has the rods. Mine has the rods, no doors. I don't know, whatever. I would have, piecemealed what I could have to gotten to 90, 95, 98%, whatever. And then the rest, I would have just given it away. Hey, you want this? Do you want a starter Defiant? Because that's how I got mine. That's thanks to Scuba Pete. He was like, hey, I have 100% complete one, and then I have this one that's around 70. Do you want it? Sure, yeah. Because the Defiant was never on my list, even though it's one of the three of the Holy Trinity. Yeah. Same with the Toxo Lab from you. I'm like, you know what? This is from my friend. So yes, I will buy your fucking Defiant. Now I have this giant thing.
Yeah.
How much is the Cold Slither set? Lord of Brooklyn wants to know. I'm sure somebody will tell him. Somebody in the chat. Please tell him.
I can't tell if it's 350. It looks like somebody said something is 350, but I don't know if that's something else.
I'm thinking 350.
Yeah.
That's no 350. I'm guessing 150. I don't know. What is the giveaway? The giveaway is the Praetorian Fury that was the DFW GI Joe Show exclusive. Here's the thing about these. Last year they opened from the bottom and they were sealed. This year they opened from the side and they're not sealed. So should we see if this is a blue flame variant? Let's look.
The blue flame.
Yeah, it just opens right up, but it is not. But
no.
Yeah. So one of those in there is a blue flame. At least one of them is a blue flame. So yeah, but this is the Praetorian Fury, and we're gonna give it away. So I'm gonna start that in just a minute. But yeah, I gotta hit some housekeeping real quick because Brad Davenport sends a $20. Thank you, Brad. Thank you so much, my friend, for the super chat and for your kind words. Chad was super chill and a little leadership. Oh, I dealerships?
A little dealership. Maybe.
What? In all the right ways. I'm so glad I made the trip to DFW. P.S. Lord Davenport, your vested arms dealer. Well, thank you, Brad. I really think that Brad is James McCullen Destro the 15th.
He came without his mask, so he wasn't recognizable.
Yeah, he doesn't. Dude, he's got that hair and the beard, and it's all salt and pepper. And I'm like, fuck, man, I wish I had that. I wish.
I saw him in that video where you're showing your stuff in the room. I was like, oh, he's in the studio audience. There he is.
Yeah. Well, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go up and live stream my haul. I don't know. You guys want to come? And they were like, yeah, sure.
We'll sit there.
It's supposed to be fun. Thank you for the super chat, Brad. Thank you for your friendship and for the kind words. And Brad and I, we will toy shop at Toys R Us with Rob Ross, and he will just video chat me from the store, and I'm like, I want that. Brad's an awesome dude. He is all about that collector karma.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
World Made of Cardboard, another awesome guy who we got to hang out with again and showed us his transforming cardboard freaking Gundams. Couldn't believe it.
I bought a little thing from him at the swap. Also, like there was this little like translucent little bluish transformer, and it transformed into a little weapon. And I was tinkering with it, and I said, "All right, well now I've played with it. It's from you. Like I got to buy it." And I bought it from him. So
he does amazing.
Now it's more important because it's from him. But boy, I love the little translucent stuff. I will put translucents over there in the window, and when the sun comes up, because I'm on the 3rd level out of 4 in this building, but the Tron figures are up there, and like just. The great translucent toys are just fun because that extra playability that they just give by existing in the sun.
Translucent, vac metalized. What was the 3rd one?
Glow in the dark.
Yeah, glow in the dark. Yeah. That's right. Those are the 3. World Made of Cardboard, thank you for the $5 super chat. It was wonderful seeing you again this past weekend. Was that last weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was. What day is this?
Oh, take me back. I want to go back. Was great to see you guys again this year. Thanks for being part of a great weekend. Thank you, my friend. Wonderful to see you. And David Carlier out there doing the Lord's work. And now we get to play Wolverines.
Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. Thank
you. I meant to have a
Carly.
Wolverine figure ready to go after that. And
look at you. Oh,
I got this little mask figure. It's a European mask figure that I got from my friend Cedric, who was at the show. He was this dealer who's coming in from France, and he was on the comments on the Facebook for the Joe show. And I was like, yeah, if you bring in any, this is Nash Gory, right, from Outlaw. So everybody can see he's got nice green glasses there too. But I said, oh, I can't get that stuff. And then I got some French cards, right? I said, any and all French cards that you got, I'll take the French cards. There's Dusty.
Oh, man.
The twins right there. Hawk, which is great. Transistor, dial tone.
Transistor.
The Cobra Transmissions,
Cobra.
Tail Viper, and the Eels.
Dude,
and
those
I just
are rad.
I said, how much for all the cards plus that figure? And he gave me a great deal. And he said, for you, this much. And I was like, dude. And then next year I see coming. He's like, next year, 3 suitcases. I was like, okay. It's like, it's cool. Yeah. Because he had a very, very big space for a very small amount of stuff. But I mean, came from France. And I'm like, yeah, this is exclusive to me. So awesome.
Speaking of European stuff, one thing I did just kind of put in Greg's ear, not like that's going to make it magically happen, but I was like, get a vendor that deals heavily in like Palatoy stuff or European stuff. Like, get that shit.
Yeah. They'll sell.
People will go nuts on that. David, thank you for gifting the channel membership. Congratulations to whoever won it. And you can go back and look at all the members' content because there's a shitload of it. Because apparently I hide content behind paywalls. Get fucked. Zaymot Rogue, channel member for 13 months. Thank you, my dude. Said, what would you change on the Robo Skull? Well, if you look on the original, the engines are on the legs. So it's a very sturdy base of support. Whereas the new one, all of the engines are on the back of the skull. And because the wings have all these little foldy, flippy tips, when you set them down on those tips that can rotate, it's very wobbly. Just my thought. I like the vehicle. I really do. I like that it's, like a version 2 of, such an awesome, iconic Nightmare TIE fighter. But I don't like that when it stands on the wingtips, you're on just like the 4 tiny points with that heavy ass vehicle. Just me. So mine never leaves the flight stand because it's a little.
That makes sense. I've never touched it or seen one like that. I've seen them now at the show, right? To see it in the show, that was the first time I'd seen one physically. So that was really cool to see.
Well, when you look at the ends of those wings, like they're very like triangular, and then they just come to very small tips. Whereas this one, the engines form feet. So I mean it's it's a very minor gripe. The rest of it is out of this world cool.
There were those people asking about like Terradrome, right? And I was showing them because this guy didn't realize, this opens up. He didn't realize that the fire bat comes in and out of the middle. Like,
the launch bay?
Yeah. And I showed him, I said, look, and it goes in there very specifically, the way they designed it from where the wheels go, where the wings clip in. I said, that's the detail of design that this thing has. Like that right there is proof of it, regardless of anything else that you see or don't see on it. But yeah, he had no idea. And I was like, yeah, there you go. And I don't know if he was thinking about buying it for real or not, or he just thought it was cool. I was like, I'll show you. I'll be like the car dealer.
Yeah.
Check out the
it's just chain driven, just like dog tags, and you yeah. So
awesome. Yeah, I didn't get for anybody who's interested that may or may not know, I had my childhood Terradrome for sale, and it did not sell. I had it higher, and I actually went down by $100 on Sunday, and still nobody bought it. And I thought, okay, well, I've seen a few walk out. Friday night, I literally saw 2 walk out in people's hands. And so I was like, people want them. Like, they can be available next year, depending if I'm a vendor or not. We will see. But yeah, it's cool to see like the people who have never seen it in person or didn't know some of the detail about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a phenomenal playset.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know, it's not the hoses or the little gas pumps or the gun tips. It's AVAC's parachute. That's the bitch. Yeah. If you get one with AVAC's parachute, you're good.
I'm lucky, but yeah. Mine have never taken off the figure from childhood. I'm just like, nope. No, unclip. Keep it.
World Made of Cardboard sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, I showed the Hasbro Legends my designs. They showed genuine interest in them. Frank loved the finger flick technology launcher. They remembered my name the next day.
That's right.
Those guys are, you can't say enough about how genuine and approachable and just freaking cool they are. They're so they're such nice guys. I can't ever say enough supportive or, wonderful things about them or to them.
Yeah.
Kirk knows the whole spiel. I don't have to tell him again, but this year, I hadn't seen Kirk in a while. We haven't streamed together in a while.
Yeah.
And he was standing there with Bob Swanson and Vinny DeLevia, and I think Dan and Smith.
Probably.
And I just walked up, kind of like on his flank, and I just put my hand on his shoulder, and he just turned and his face got so soft, and he was like, Chad. how are you? And I was like, oh man, that just made my fucking day. Like, yeah.
That was before he signed the soap.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was before the soap. Yeah.
I had him sign the Fun School Law card last year, and I had a friend tell me, he's like, oh, he's going to punch you for that. And I was like, oh, it'll be fine. And this year I got him to sign the law, card. I was like, I got a really nice one this last year. And I was like, let me get as clean of a one as I can. And then he's like, where should I sign it? I was like, oh, sir, wherever you think looks great. Like,
yeah.
And then I also had gotten, him to sign the figure sheet, the sculpt sheet. Last year I got him to sign the sheet that he has it was the rules. He had the rules of the law sheet on there. And so even getting him to sign 2 things. I was like, oh, can I get this and this? I was like, and he's like, yeah, and we'll do this for you this much. And it was just so nice. We're doing a picture, and Vinny DeLevio was taking a picture of me and Kirk this year. Yeah. And he's like, what about one up here? And he's doing it way up high. And Kirk looks like, no, straight on. Like, and it's just, I said, when it's right,
well, Kirk's like, he's like right about there.
Yeah, to me, he's just a little bit, because I'm 5'11". So.
It's okay. It's all right.
But they were so nice, like David Kunitz too. So I got David Kunitz a print of the schematic of the Defiant, and then I got a blueprint. He had those different blueprints of the different things, and it's like the Stiletto, the Starfighter. And
did you see his Cobra Interceptor?
At his table, the blueprint or the thing. I saw the thing in a video. The
design schematics of the Cobra Interceptor.
I saw a vehicle that he had at his place when he was on with Mikey and Zakano and figured it out once. So I didn't see a schematic of it, but we were talking about
I got it. I'll send it to you.
The Starfighter. It's like I had just mailed my Starfighter to myself. I had put this in the mail on Friday. I was like, you know what? It's not going to fit in my case when I come back, but I want to bring it back to my home up here. And to be able to have talked to the designer literally the next day was fantastic. And so I said, I got to buy a blueprint from you. I want to buy this and I'll buy that blueprint. And he was just so cool to talk to. Otherwise, I think we chatted for 15, 20 minutes. He was just so nice. But it's really cool to see the process too. And they're great to go into it too. Not just, I think the fact that Dan had the prints for them, so that you don't just have to I don't have anything for them to sign and I don't want to go up and be awkward. The prints eliminates that for a lot of people, because admittedly there's people who are real quiet, who want to be a designer but don't know how to talk to them.
And they have the designs of their figures too.
Yes, I love that. I got Law, I got Countdown. I didn't get to meet Guy at the table. I met Guy away near my table, and so I didn't get anything signed from Guy, but I got to meet him. So him and Mark Pennington, I met but didn't get signed. And I was like, okay, well, stuff.
I had to get Thrasher. I walked up to Dave, we were just chatting, we were just shooting the shit, and I was like, all right, Thrasher and Monkey Wrench, that's where I live every day, depending on my mood. And I'm like, I need that Thrasher print. Praxis sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, Praxis, and says, enjoyed all your live content and your haul video was epic. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the comment. I wish the internet was better. Again, I cannot control that. I'm sorry, but did the best I could. But thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. Logan Holmberg, channel member for 1 whole freaking year, says that toy haul was epic. What did the ma'am say? She loved it. Yeah, she was glad I was able to find items that I didn't have, because I'm getting down to the onesie twosie. So when I can go to a show and see that's that 2005 convention blue Hiss 2. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna buy that. So yeah, I found some good stuff. And the ma'am's always
with this guy. One of the, when you start getting down to it, you say, how many figures do I have left to get? And the ambush with the Dino Hunters, I was like, all right, these guys got it. I got to pick it up.
Do they have that bullshit low light?
No, they didn't have it, but I don't like this. Like the Interrogator, that Malin Interrogator has awful colors, which is
no, you got to get the one that comes with the copter. That's the Interrogator.
The one. Yeah. That's second major altitude in red and blue looks good. I still don't have it, so it's on my list. But this ambush, I thought, you know what? This ambush with good accessories, whether it's from the 2000 version, the sidetrack, or otherwise, this ambush could actually start looking pretty good without all the neon stuff, like the orange or whatever. And it goes back to neon at night, right? You go don't sleep on some of these. The design's okay. Nope. This color changes that guy, but like, look at, I mean, let's be honest. This is skid mark colors.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was
really,
just going to mention skid mark. Like skid mark's a phenomenal sculpt, which by the way, I did get 2 more skid marks because why not?
I saw that.
He's a phenomenal sculpt, man.
Just for everybody who hadn't seen him, I'll just keep on screen.
And Viper Scout, who's in the chat and stuff a lot, he also was the one who gave me the formula for converting that classified hiss in a 118 scale, like, you know, command hiss. Viper Scout, he always repaints skid mark. He made like a Night Force one. He made a Sky Patrol one.
Dude,
it's awesome. He does some cool
Sky
shit.
Patrol is fun too. You know, how can you make chrome? You can do it. You can do it.
Let's see. I'm gonna hit it with chrome spray paint and some baby blue.
Done. Here's another guy I picked up.
Ooh.
So the vendors had this guy, and they had one with a helmet, which was much more. And I was like, you know what? I never see this one. He's got a little separation on the sides there, but
yeah, but he looks good.
Design. So, but it's beautiful, right? It's like this is one I never find, and he's in great shape. He's tight. Like,
is he toit like a toiger? All right.
He's toit like a good figure should be.
Toit, you know, toit. I gotta do this, man. I
saw that.
$50 super chat, dude. Thank you. Stop. Just stop. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Brad says B. Conley, Samantha, Suka, Jacob, Ken's Toys, Just Jeff, Jeff W, and friend. And it's Chad. Love you. Thank you for making a guy who likes stuff feel welcome. I was truly blessed. Look forward to the next time we meet. Carry on, my friend. Couldn't have said it better. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, my dude. I don't know. I never know what to say when I get super. Thank you.
Because it's different than like buying you a drink or buying you dinner. You go, you're here at the place where I'm doing my thing, and then you're supporting it directly. And it's like when you give somebody $20 and go, oh, I don't know what they're going to do with the $20, but I know what I'm going to do directly with this, and this goes straight to the channel, and it's the fellowship. All right. So speaking of that, so Vishay, he's like, oh, Jeff, I got your patch. And I was like, okay, cool. We'll catch me later. And you know, all of a sudden it's Sunday, and I was like, hey, dude, I didn't get the patch yet. He's like, oh, and he had a Velcro one. And he started to take it off his hat and hand it to me. Yeah. And I was like, man, I can't take the one from your hat. Like, just
that's the kind of dude he is, man. Shirt off his back.
And I was like, he was going to give me the one straight away. And I was like, no, take it. And I was like, Vishay's the man. Like, yeah. So even you getting to hang out with him earlier, I was like, man, I'm sorry I'm getting to miss seeing Vishay again. Like live, but like, I'll watch later. But,
thank you, Brad. And dude, I'm so glad you got to come. I'm glad you had fun with all of us toxic, shitty people. That's that bullshit.
Anybody who is hanging out like knows, like, you go, look, there's people who you may think have a persona online, but like, man, meet them as a real person. Meet them on the level of a human being, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be great. You go, you know what? That guy ain't that bad. That guy's fun. Suka can be nice. Like, it's okay. Like, people are going to be cool, and it's so much fun. And like, all of a sudden, like Saturday night, like it gets to be 11 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock. You're like, man, I was here all day with this crew in this form, shopping around, sitting in this, shopping, doing that, maybe having dinner, maybe doing the trivia, maybe just hanging out. And then all of a sudden you go, is that drunk Harry Carey over there? You go, oh, maybe. Like it's Harry Carey.
A little bit.
But yeah, and it's just Jeff's in the chat, right? And he and Jeff W and I, like, all of a sudden Jeff was like, Jeff, come here, Jeff.
Council of Jess. Mo was there too.
Mo was there on Sunday, and so we missed.
Yeah, Mo was there for like a freaking minute, man.
Yeah, but it's that opportunity to go, look, take the opportunity, and it's right here in this moment. And that pick is an embodiment of that, because I only saw Jeff W that time and one other, and I saw just Jeff a bunch. But like in that moment, that's when we're all together.
Did you see Jeff W's freaking Karak?
I saw pictures of it. Yeah.
Oh my God, killed it.
Yeah, look.
Him and Rosa in her Warpath Eclipse. Fuck, they look so good. And Bobby didn't even know. He didn't know. And like earlier, I was like, I didn't like give it away. I was just like, there's a little something coming for you. And he's like, what? You know how he gets. And I'm like, yeah, just wait. You'll love it. Brad, again, thank you so much, my friend. Curb Stomp. It's that bullshit curb stomp. Sends a $2 super chat and says, just because I can. Replay squad, sound off. Love you, dude.
That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit right there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Thank you, curb stomp. Thank you all very much. Let's get back to the main chat because I just wanted to get through those. Rondo says, my Defiant shuttle is barely holding together. Don't try to open those doors. Yeah. Yeah.
But if you did take the door off and it snapped, take the door itself to DFW, get Dave Kunitz to sign it. So even if it snapped off your thing, it's going to mean something even more to you later than it would have been before it snapped. Secrets. Shard. Typos are fun because then you go with the typo instead of the real chart.
Ay, mira, 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 mira.
I was waiting for the moment for that.
I was wondering if you were going to play one of those this time. Yeah.
Jeffy, dude, thank you.
Just Jeff.
You don't. I love you, Jeffy. You don't have to. No BS. Jeff and Chad helped make this year memorable and was awesome to see and hang out with them again. All of you, thank you for just everything. Yeah. Thank you.
So Jeff and I traded mask stuff, right? So he got me a mask comic and I had got him a mask coloring book. And neither one of us knew that we were doing that. We did know that, like, oh, he was going to get me lunch and I bought him this other thing, pre-show, 2 months ago. But like the fact that like we can, number two, like we can just kind of go, look, I got this for you, dude. I got something for you too. And the fact that like the treat is being able to see the person. We like everything else becomes bonus, and it's that feeling like, give him a big hug and just like, dude, I'm glad you're here. Because I knew his issues with his dog, a few months ago and things. And like things come up in life where all of a sudden, like last year, you got to handle life. And then the timing is what the timing is. And so when someone's there with you, and I had emotions up and down, like there were different times where I'm just like, oh, I'm getting a little teary talking to this person. And side note, so I was meeting the designers and I was there. And then I was talking to John Earl. And I got in John Earl's, I'll show you.
Dude, John's so awesome.
Dude, I bought his Wild Bill. I bought the original Wild Bill from him. But then I had a guy who came over who knew me, and like he said, hey, there's a friend of yours from high school is waiting at your table. So high school? Who could this be? Like my college buddy was here the day before on Saturday, and I knew he was coming. And then I got over there, and like this guy's there, and it's her husband. And he's like, I'm not the person who knows you. It's actually her. And I was like, okay. Like, look. And it took a second. And I was like, and I said her name. Because I hadn't seen her in person since like the late 90s. And we've been on Facebook, we've been friends and here and there, just messaging over the years. But I had no idea she's going to be there and talk about this and that. And then, letting this stuff go from my brothers, Transformers and GI Joe stuff. And by the time they're about to leave and they took pictures together, like it just like it really meant a lot that she's like, I saw your name and I want to wait and see you. And it was just so cool, like because you realize like the connections you have with people and how the years go by. And it was just another one of those moments where I just like was emotional about it. I was just like, okay. Because like here, all of a sudden you just go, there's somebody who's like, they saw your name. Like, oh, Jeff's at the show. We got to see him. He's not at his table. He's coming back. Like, oh, he's in there somewhere. And like, oh, they might have waited 20, 30 minutes. Like if they were here and there and wherever, but it was just really cool to have those feelings. And I felt that with Jeff when I gave him a hug. It's like, dude, it's good to see you. Like, it's really like, there's people that you see, Vishay, I was that way with. And so when we talk about, the folks, the fellowship, like it's real and you feel it when you're in face to face with a person. And we talk about stuff all year. You go, you're building relationships. So when people got your back, they got your back 100%. I love it.
Agreed. Dude, I have to say that this year versus last year, fucking night and day.
I bet.
Night and day. I had no stress, no nothing this year. It was just like celebrating, seeing people again, meeting new people, getting people to sign my poster, handing out stickers. All I gave a shit about. That was it. It's all I cared about was just like appreciating the fact that I could be at the same show in a better situation and just enjoy myself.
Yeah.
That's it. Toys aside, toys are great. Fuck all that. It was just everything else.
Because things turn up and so I can't
easy.
turn this away or turn it off. So I have to handle it and deal with it. Yeah. But then like you go, I want to embrace this fun and these people in this time, this right now.
Jeffy, thank you so much. I love you, dude. I'm glad you had fun. I know you had a couple of challenges last weekend, but you know, we rise above and you're the man. So we got a game again soon. I love you very much. Brad Davenport sends a $2 super chat because he just can't stop. Thanks, buddy. Using that Destro money and says, Rosa was the best thing of the show. She was great. She was great. It was fucking awesome to see. Laser Pants brought his family. He brought his wife and his son. And I love that people were like, not just coming, but they were coming with their families. I love it.
I'm friends with the guy named Eric, and Eric was there with his wife and his 2 kids, and they all dress in the same shirts.
Yeah,
they did last year too. And I just
and
that's so cool.
It was,
like they're
Eric Alfred Abel. It was his kids, man, that were like, "Oh yeah, it's Chad." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, these kids are so cool, man.
Fun,
so fucking cool."
My college buddy, who brought his 2 sons, like last year when he showed up, like I hadn't seen him in ages last year, and this year even I was like, oh, there he is. Like there's my guy. Like, and that's the only time we get to see him in the whole trip. You know, I'm in Texas almost a week, but. You know, and then all year goes by. Sometimes you just go, okay, it's special when someone's there. And so, like, if you're going to be emotionally, like, don't be afraid to show them you're emotionally happy for them and cool with them being in your presence and sharing that. Because life's life, and like you want to embrace that in the moments you got. Like it's the show.
Zaymot Rogue wants to see my Thrasher print. I can see where they. Give me a sec. Give me a second. Fuck. Just give me a second. Yeah, sorry. Was it the last Starfighter? I'll see myself out.
Yeah, no. He's my only Starfighter. Yeah, his print is going to look similar to this one, right? Like, so the figure sculpture.
Yeah.
Dan Klingesmith had signed. This is one that's loft. So Kirk Bazigian had signed the middle. So anybody who's, if they're asking about the Thrasher one, that's what you're going to see from Chad's when you see that. It's really, those are so cool.
Because we were talking about the Robo Skull, I did get these in succession. Got any tips? Just the tip? Only tips.
What the hell is even that?
You know, I'm sorry. I probably should have played Lincoln Osiris, but he was closer. We are going to do this really quick. Like, we're not going to do it quickly.
There you go.
And I'm going to put this up for a second. If you would like to be entered into the drawing to receive a free Valaverse Action Force Crimson Shadows Praetorian Fury DFW GI Joe and Action Figures Show exclusive. Fuck, that was a lot of words. Please put in hashtag free Fury, not furry.
Not furry.
Just like this. Hashtag in 8 letters, put it in just like that, and
free furry is something
the entries coming
completely different.
I'm gonna let me see if I can. I'll work on that. I'll work on it. We're gonna leave this up for a second, but yeah. Bashay Conley, channel member for 14 months since day one, a good friend and one of my mods. I was dealing with the loss of my cousin. Yep. But I knew being around people that cared about me was what I needed to help grieve. I'm thankful for everyone. I love you, my friend. We had our chat about that, and I'm sorry. But I'm glad you were there.
He and I did too.
And I'm sure your cousin would have wanted you to enjoy yourself. So that's what I tell myself, you know? Yeah. Thank you, Vishay. He got 2 and dropped 4. I don't know what the see. These are the comments that I like. I'm watching. Yeah. Good. I'm glad you're here. Put in hashtag free Fury, and I will put you into the drawing. Ratface says you can't have enough skid marks. No, you cannot. You can't.
Are you? Question.
I'm not even going to read
skid
this.
mark to you, Chad. Question to you: would you do a skid mark in the Marvel comic colors? Would you actually do one of those that's in like the green, the dark green tones? Because like I've not seen one of those. I've not seen you customize figures much like you do vehicles. Yeah. Like I want to see that. That's my request for a skid mark if you do it.
See, now that's the kind of shit that I was hoping, and maybe they will, right? I'm not trying to just shit on them because it's cool to shit on them, but I wanted to see Reaction Plus like really, really lean into like Raven and Snakelings and green shirts or Cobra Troop or GI Joe Troopers and Flag Crew or blue shirts. I want to see like the mechanics, the maintenance people, all the crew type, army builders. I want to see that skid mark. I want to see sparks. I want to see like this is the shit. Yeah. Like break it out. Let's go. I don't want to see fucking Flint, man.
I think it was Falcon. Yeah. I think Falcon. Because it was Falcon, right? But like I think because
what's him either.
I think they'll still do Sunbow Flint because that green shirted Sunbow Flint look is classic. I think they will still lean back to get to that one because if there's the next wave is going to be movie figures, and Flynn had said in the Joe Fest panel because I'd seen clips of it, like he had said that heavily hinted without saying it that Big Lob and Pythona are in the next wave. He heavily hinted that Big Lob and Pythona are in the next wave. So if they're going to lean into a movie wave 2, it'll be curious to see do they do Nemesis Enforcer bigger because they did Raymar bigger. And I think that is a lean in that Super 7 will do. I really think that they'll do that. I'm curious what they might do with Globulus because of the way that, Globulus is tough to do. And like figuring out, okay, you're doing the tail the way that the model figure used to do, where you're just standing as a little figurine. But like getting into like the mechanics are in G.I. Joe the movie at the beginning. And the snakelings they've done in 5 POA, right? So like if they've done a snakeling, they can do another snakeling, because they clearly love Pyramid of Darkness. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they will. I feel like if Snakeling is on deck for 2026, I think they will. Because having an army builder in almost every line, right? Like with the Royal Guard in this one, I think that's smart. I think that they can lean into that. So I'm hopeful for that.
I didn't get it.
I'm hopeful.
I'm gonna like really friggin' pick and choose. Now I don't even want to say my swap because that's that bullshit. But at the swap at DFW, someone had the Target exclusive chase figure that is the Python Patrol Battle Android Trooper. I did buy that.
Yeah.
Because 1, it's a chase figure. 2, I'd never seen it in physical form, so I bought it.
And the Python Cobra Commander is the next one, which is like up and down because you go, it's at Target. I'll never see it.
Yeah.
So
but a Battle Android Trooper I can get behind because again, they're Battle Android Troopers. I have been army building them for who knows how long. And
they really don't make bad ones. The colors that they choose generally over the years have been pretty fun.
A Battle Android Trooper I can justify in my own like brain housing group, as I'm trying to convince myself it's okay, buy that dolly.
Yeah.
Cooter's Garage is here, and I love that screen name. Plus he has Captain Chaos. BT is asking, is Carson Metaxas here? I don't think so.
He was not at DFW either. He had got COVID between Joe Fest.
He got COVID, but he's better. Yeah, we talked after that. He's better.
And he's actually, if you're actually following his stuff, it's last call on Operation Recall to get your backer kit in, like tonight. Like you probably tonight live, it's the 6th. Get your order.
I did mine. I did mine. So
he's emailing everybody.
Did you know that 49er Brian just ate?
It's not like he's just Ralph too.
You never know what's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to pause X on this Free Fury. Please, if you want to be considered, enter it in. We're going to let this like simmer for a little bit longer, but I want to move back to something else. So I gotta pop this off the screen for a minute. I wanted to switch gears for a second. You've been a Joe fan for a long time. You, as Mikey and Zakanin like to say, you know your shit. And you do.
Kukovic is really good about that. It was John and Mikey that started that. Yeah. And he said, oh, we almost had a sticker ready for you. And I said, hey, next year.
Which is nice. You do. Nice. And I will always give credit where it's due because I'm a big fan of one, knowledge is power, and two, I kind of will gatekeep the shit out of you if you don't know anything about Joe and you want to fucking pop off. Like I will push your shit in. Everybody knows that, right? I'm going to be that guy.
I said Falcon, like I whispered in your ear out loud, Falcon. Like, and so we do it to each other.
I was just going off. I don't remember what the figure was. I just know it was a figure that's been released to grip, and I don't need him.
Yeah.
You know about this figure, right?
I do. I know it was supposed to have been released already.
Yeah.
It's a good looking figure. The design is excellent. I mean, the fact that they've got two separate heads there, like they clearly wanted you to buy multiples by making separate heads and having, army builder figure here with a great looking design. Like, and it's,
you having been around, that meme where, Franco's looking over at the person in the news and he's like, first time, huh? And then it always gets reused. And,
I think so. I think I've seen it.
You've been around long enough to see things that were supposed to come out, things that get like put on pause, or they just get like quietly shit canned, or the whole thing with the Walmart retro, which shouldn't have been retro, the modern figures and the, we're just going to put it on pause, which means we're just going to silently like stick it in and break it off.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Went on hiatus.
Do you have thoughts? This figure not happening, that like the whole stream just getting canned because of it. Do you have any feelings?
I understand the news at the time that they may have felt delicate about the news for some reason, but I think that like the people who were going to buy this figure would have bought it regardless. Like there's not a villain figure that you have here. It's a hero figure. You're putting it in the hero line. Like you're calling this police officer a hero, and like there are some that are not heroes, but like this figure is a toy, and it's going to be emblematically presented to people who want to enjoy it, to the degree that like they want a great police figure and they feel like you were going to release one. And I think that if they delayed it for manufacturing reasons, they'd have said so. So they clearly had a sensitivity about the news. There's a lot of things that people can be sensitive about the news about in the moment, but then you go, well, are you going to release it later or not? That'll be the question. That'll be the question that they have about it. So if somebody wants to get this figure, or they want to get a different police figure from someone else, where will they get one?
The funny thing about that, I love GI Joe. It doesn't mean I have to love Hasbro. Yep. There's a lot, right? There's a lot to unpack with that. But if we're just talking about this figure, I know a lot of people were, I don't know, offended, enraged, chose to like have feelings about it. But, I remember 94. I remember Sergeant Savage. I remember, give it a name. Resolute, right? Like Resolute went over like gangbusters with like critics, fans, everybody. And they were like, nothing. Now I understand there's like behind the scenes stuff, but there wasn't even an attempt. But they did mock up a fucking Resolute USS flag.
Yeah.
So like there are people behind the scenes that work on the brand that really want to just see it elevated. And I'm not here to I'm not crapping on Lenny. I'm not crapping on Emily. The faces of the usual suspects. This is all executives. All of those decisions going back to Ginger Kent in the 94, 95, and the fucking Friday, October the 13th or the Ides of March, whatever you want to call it, like the death of G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
This isn't anything new. But at the same time, all this bullshit, because that's that bullshit, kids. But you know who did make cops? Fucking Playmobil. Playmobil's like, hold my beer, man. They don't give a shit.
There's a few of them.
They even celebrated them as like 4th of July sale. Look at all these first responders, because we love our first responders. Fucking Hasbro can eat shit and die. Dude, this was a flex that I was like all about. I was
Okay.
all about this flex, man. You just,
And I mean, you get 3 different looking figures there too. Like the one is the firefighter, right? Like the megaphone.
Yeah. Real quick, Logan Holmberg is asking if the hashtag free fury, 1U1R, not furry, is open to Canadians. You know what? Yeah, I will open it to US and Canada. So if you're in Canada and you didn't put in hashtag free fury, fuck it, do it. Fine. I'll mail that shit to you. I don't care. So.
Hashtag I have 3 already.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought this was funny. Just wanted to share it because
and brand new. Yeah. Like, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong. Nicotrona says Bobby said he might do cops and extras. Yeah, some of that was tongue in cheek, some of it wasn't. But then again, I and a few others I know have personally kind of poked the bear and said, you need to make a hooded figure. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen.
That's right. When I was talking to Kirk, right? I said something about ice cream, so because I was wearing this shirt, and I said something about Ice Cream Soldier, and I said I was reading Sergeant Rock comics like that year. That was the first year I'd ever had one, and then I got Ice Cream Soldier, and I realized like it had to be Sergeant Rock, Ice Cream Soldier influence. He said, "Oh, absolutely," and I said, Kirk, I would love if we had Joe figures that was Rock, Little Sure Shot, Wild Man. And he just looked at me and said, I wish we could. I wish we could. And I just like, because you realize like people who don't like Ice Cream Soldier don't realize the connection of it. They see orange and they say, what is this? It's at the end of the line. Oh, it must be dying. Like, no, Ice Cream Soldier was a Sergeant Rock reference, right? With that character. And the fact that, I could talk to him about Sergeant Rock for even that long. And just like, yeah, I had like, I wore the shirt and I was like, oh, wait a minute. And I just jumped in with it. But it's cool to be able to talk to him of all people about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what can they do and what can they not do? Sometimes it comes from licensing or the top down and the things that
it really is, it just sucks. And that's the way of the world when you have corporations that are publicly traded. They're supposed to be in the business of making like fun, entertaining, imaginative things when the people who make the decisions, they're all based on spreadsheets. They're not based on imagination and creativity and like risk taking. That's gone, right? I mean, we all know it. Risk taking is something only independent companies do now.
They do it
that's
every time.
Why, fans do the best work. That's that term. Zaymot Rogue says, hate on us until one of the snowflakes are getting their asses kicked. Then we're the good guys. Zaymot, are you a cop?
Sounds like it.
I would like to know if you're a police officer, because if you know what's going on in my household. So a lot of stuff we keep to ourselves.
Uh-oh. It's a cue.
Is that baiting? Is he baiting?
It's a hook.
It's science, people! Science!
Got one.
Got one. I'm surprised anybody hasn't said this yet.
Chad, how insensitive of you.
Maybe they did, and I just didn't see it. So
if they did, I missed it too.
Stop that nonsense. Yeah. Mother Slug, you do understand Hasbro could make a cloth-faced Cobra Commander just by hiding the actual head behind a piece of cardboard or even place it in a black bag. But the reality is, hooded Cobra Commander is gone. Like, they erased him. Now in the comics, he wears not a balaclava, but legit a ski mask. Because a balaclava has one opening. A ski mask has two. He wears a straight-up fucking ski mask now. So the hood that he just wears to comfortably hide his face, gone. To the point where, speaking of, somebody was asking about Carson, when he got them to put their Hasbro stamp on his omnibus, they made him remove Hooded Cobra Commander from the book.
They did. I have the sleeve for the collection of the softbacks, and it's on there. It's on the spine.
Yep, he's on the spine, and then they replace it with Snake Eyes version 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's in the book and it's historical.
Thanks, buddy.
We know what it means. That's a good comment. That's good.
I appreciate you, Zaymont, for saying that, dude. Action Joe Figs, what's up, dude? Says, hey, Chad, what is up, brother? Just got in today from Nashville. Awesome, dude. Joke Eater, fuck.
Joke.
Man, the hard names are hard. I'm sorry.
Joker.
Why do they hate Hooded Cobra Commander so much? I'm new, sorry. Okay, so in a nutshell, the short story is when they were working on the G.I. Joe live action movies, Lorenzo di Bonaventura, having seen one of the artist renders of a version of Cobra Commander for the live action movies, he saw him in the hood and said, no, we can't do that. And he's in a meeting with all these Hasbro executives and said, we can't do that Hooded Cobra Commander. That's a Klan hood. And he literally like just dropped a bomb in the room. Now, there were some people in the room that were like, no, that's not what that hood is. It's an executioner's hood. Like it's been around for decades, but he convinced just the right people that it's A, what he said it was, which it wasn't, or B, if we go with the hood and other people think that we're screwed, so they just silently made Hooded Cobra Commander disappear.
And because they had an option to go to, they said, well, he's also always had a helmet. And so they went in that direction to.
Yeah. So they just said from now on, he's going to be helmeted. And there are so many statements from people that back that up. One, Daryl DePriest was in the room. Two, Mark Webber confirmed it. Bobby Valla confirmed it. All three of them were there at the time. So that to me is enough because those three are very trustworthy. Four, Lorenzo di Bonaventura is a fucking idiot. Can't stress that enough. I mean, you see what he did with Joe and Transformers, right? You want to talk about diminishing returns. Five, even Brian Flynn admitted in one of his bullshit little puff pieces with Veebs, who just kisses his ass, that when he got his licensing deal with Hasbro, they said, you can make pretty much anything, but you can never make a Hooded Cobra Commander. And what we just talked about with Carson Metaxas, where they made him take him off the book. So there you go. That's all thanks to Lorenzo di Bonaventura.
On a fun note,
fuck that guy.
Anybody who's not seen the Art of G.I. Joe book that Carson has, he is down to a handful of them. Like literally, like there's only a few boxes of those left. So if anybody does not have that, and the tome is thick, and it'll run you, $150 and plus shipping, I think. But like, it is worth it. It is everything Joe from 82 to 94. And if you have been sitting on it, like now's the time to get it because he ain't going to reprint that. And that's one of those things that is getting down to the nitty gritty of like, if you're going to get one, you got to get one. And also, fun fact, I'm in the front of it because they opened up the option a couple years ago. Anybody who had pictures of them with their opening up their Joes and being as a little kid, you could be in the pictures in the front and the back of the book. And I submitted a picture of.
Let's see it. You got it?
Yeah, I got it. I submitted this picture. So it's me and my brother. So that's me and my brother right there. And that's me in the black shirt. Cobra Commander. This is a Hooded Cobra Commander shirt, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
91, because it's from Eco Warriors, the Toxo Viper there also. And let's see, hang on. There's all those other pictures. Where am I? There we go. There's me and my brother from 2 years ago.
Oh, man, that's cool.
So I said,
that's awesome.
Let's do a modern picture. It's in the same spot as where my grandmother's house is at. And Carson, by opening that up to Joe fans, and this was, again, a couple years ago. I mean, it was right after the pandemic. It's like, oh, I can't get my photo. It's here. It's in Texas, and I'm up here in Illinois. It was like, oh, okay, just send me the clearest thing you got. And I kept hoping, like, oh, it's going to work. It's going to work. And it's in the book. So he's good to fans. Like, he's good to Joe fans, and he's good to designers and the legacy, the creators, the artists. And so if you are somebody who's like, oh, I'm buying all these toys, cool. I'm a classified guy too. Like, I love classified stuff, but I've had to stop because I've had other expenses that I've had to bring in.
So anyway, now that Jeff had to leave, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I was looking at that. I said, I'm a classified guy. Oh,
That was a little insensitive of me.
but I buy the rare O-ring stuff in the mask.
I don't care. I'm just kidding.
But
It's
I had
just
to
for
stop.
fun, dude.
I had to stop buying some classified stuff. Like I've got other expenses are coming up, but man, like Blowtorch looks awesome. Like I know Footloose looks cool. Like those are figures that I can still pick up. But like the books are only right now. Dan Klingensmith stuff. Those books, he's doing the final sale on those. Like literally this week is the final sale on those. So if you don't have Dan Klingensmith's books, so Joe, like look at them, take a look at like do I want to buy the toys right now, or do I want to buy the books? They're only available this long, and then that's it. Because we're kind of at the peak of like people making Joe book products,
and he's in his like legally bound sell-off period. So this is one of those like shit get off, because he's going to lose out on money. He's going to have a bunch of books that he's legally not allowed to move, and then you're going to miss out on 15 volumes of just the most amazing information you will ever find on GI Joe, and I can't stress that enough. And dude, I gotta say, with you here, like I gotta go off on like a small,
go for it.
Like,
there's Dan.
Yep, like a small 1-minute tangent. All these motherfuckers, I'm gonna start it like that.
Yep.
All these people that they're like the positivity police, and these people are toxic, and again, they want to rope people into fucking groups and all this stuff. These are the motherfuckers that won't buy Dan's books. They won't buy Carson's omnibus. They won't support like other projects that are all about like the history and the lore and all the things about GI Joe. They don't know who the fuck Ron Rudat is, and I've got proof, right, of people saying I don't know who that is. They don't know who Kirk is. They don't know any of these motherfuckers. But like somebody spends years, like a decade, researching and putting out these books. I'm not gonna fucking support that. I'm waiting on the next Hasbro live stream. Bye.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Part of it is perspective. Sometimes like they haven't got the perspective to have the understanding of you need to do it now. And this is the real exclusive. This is the real exclusive. This book that this fan put out, there was a fan like you or me, but had a drive and a goal and a passion, and all of a sudden go, yeah, it's got to happen now if it's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And teach the new faith. Like, no offense to like Joker was here right before, Joker 34.
Yeah,
he said, I'm new here. He's new at your channel. So you're telling a story that some of us have heard. He should hear it because like he's new, but also like you should be informed. And like the information is important. Information is power. Sure. And that's the thing. And that's why I've got friends, several of them here in the chat on this live stream saying like, you know what? You probably should gatekeep Joe more often. I'm like, yeah, but that's like a shitty kind of like, I don't know. Support. Yes, I agree to a degree. Jedi Ben says, D. Bonaventura or Boner Ventura would know considering his racist remarks, right? Did you hear about that whole controversy? Right. He's known for saying that Cobra Commander's Executioner's hood is the bad kind of hood from the bad kind of group. But when it came down to him and Stephen Capel Jr., who directed Transformers Rise of the Beast, and D. Bonaventura got in a lot of hot water because he was yelling a bunch of racist shit at him. Missed it. Yeah, that happened. That really fucking happened. Yeah. And that kind of goes back to the whole, like, the people who say, like, oh, these guys are toxic and these guys are this and these guys are that. Nah, it kind of turns out to be the other way. So, yeah. Anyway. Goes around. You never know.
Yeah, something goes around. 70 entries. We got almost 200 watching. If we could get out a couple of more, just if you want that free Praetorian Fury, US or Canada, I will send it to Canada. I would love to put this in somebody's hands. Buy Dan's books before August. Yeah. Plus, he's got like the awesome unproduced Night Force cards. He's got that Zartan single card that, you know, never happened in Western markets. He's got the cool, like, 5-volume like slip cases. He did a lot of good work. How uncommunity like. Am I jealous? Do I have a thing for that? Yeah.
Just checking in. Have you drank water today? Did you eat? Did you take your meds?
Yeah. Matthew Matson says, I need a podium just for Carson's book. I've seen a lot of people get podiums for that omnibus.
Carson uses a podium when he shows it at shows for that reason. Yep.
See this
Mine
this
is another
comment. I like Action Joe Figs because he's really big on the 1/6 scale or 12-inch stuff. For those of you who don't know what that is, he's really big on that stuff. And this comment makes me feel like warm and fuzzy. I don't either. I don't. Every once in a while, I'll pick and choose a thing. But
I'm all in
the
on
Joe Transformer
Operation
crossover.
Recall. Yeah, I'm all in on Operation Recall. Those figures look amazing. I'm all in on Call Sign Longbow, right? And they've already put out the Ghost figure, and they put out the Skeletron O-ring figure, and like the heavy armor toys, like you got those sailors and the deck crew, like because they didn't do them right. Hasbro didn't do the ketchup and mustard, but heavy armor toys did a ketchup, a mustard, and a relish figure, and the sailors, and like a little seal that looks like wetsuit from the comic books, and the greens and the boonie hat. Like there's figures to be made from people. When you talk about fans doing the best work, fans that have companies, fans that put Kickstarters out and like show you the work and show you the product and then put it out there. Like they're worth supporting, like, 100%.
If Super 7 wanted to hit the ground running, this is just me. I'm just a fan, right? A fan is short for fanatic. I'm very rabid about this stuff. I'm like super passionate. Get out of my way, right? They should have made ketchup and mustard right off the fucking bat. Right? And relish. Fine. Make all three of them. There you go. Like, hey, wink. We know you didn't get these before, but here they are. And they should have made the goddamn Cobra Aspen. Not the mother shit. Make that Cobra Chopper that's in the very first issue of the Marvel Comics that nobody ever made before. And I know the Aspen is on Flynn's shortlist. I know that for a fact. Verified twice over. But you just do it. Do it.
And I think if they were going to make that mothership better, like if they went to the redesign, they said, okay, we're going to try it again. Shrink it down to where it fits as a lid on the Terrordrome, like your pots in the kitchen. Like make it so it's a lid on your Terrordrome and have it be flat enough on the top that you can have a landing pad for a Rattler or an Asp or a Fang. Like make it playable, right? The playability quotient is like the piece that like it was blown out for collectors and space, right? But you go, okay, if you can fit a Terrordrome, you can fit a mothership. Like make it make sense to people a little more. And I think if they redesigned it and they did just a little more of that,
fit it into your universe. Yeah. And that goes back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of the stream. Like Greg Bernson, just make it fun. Holy shit, right? Yeah, duh. Make it fun. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. It's just how it is. I don't take my meds, Pilgrim. Dude, I love when I play these clips and people just go nuts. You freaked my wife out with that guy asking. That is a guy. Trust me, it's a guy. Yeah. That thing looks like it belongs in Terrence and Phillips' universe. Not that thing on your picture, my friend.
Nice.
That thing looks like freedom right there.
I was working at a theater when I first got up to Chicago the first year, and we were a comedy theater, but we had a bunch of different variety kind of shows come in, and there was a drag queen or two. We had different ones that came in, and they have a huge gay following, right? Like, 95% guys for the most part. But I was selling cans of beer. I never sold out in the tank of cans of beer except on those shows. All of a sudden, boom, drink. And I didn't always just want the mixed drinks. I want the cans of drink. And it was interesting to be able to see like the world in that perspective and kind of go, man, they're having a lot of fun here. Like they're not hurting anybody and they're not trying to infiltrate, your world. And so I always look and I go, the clips that Chad plays are fun. They're meant to be fun with folks that we don't always see every day, but like these people, they live this way every day. So as long as we're good to each other, right? That's always what we promote here and everywhere. So, ain't bad. The busted clips are fun. They know what they're doing when they put some of these clips together too. Like that mirror clip, like that was exactly what I was doing in that clip.
Yeah. Chris says, love having Dan Carson in the omnibus. My office centerpieces with my collection. A lot of fun reconnecting, reading back through and referencing the work behind the stuff we grew up with.
That's cool, Chris.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what it's about too, because it touches base to the people who aren't like watching these shows or in these chats or buying toys, but they'll go, oh yeah, I love GI Joe as a kid. And all of a sudden they're going to sit and look through your book. Like they're going to get a world of absorption. And like, you go, oh, here, look at 3djoes.com. Look at YoJo. Like, look at these sites. And some of those people haven't looked at those since they were a kid, and like, you will be giving them a piece of happiness because you're a fanatic, because you're a fan now, and because you've bought into these things and go, yeah, now I know more about it and I can show it to the people who have forgotten about that and how much that's still a part of who they are. You know, I love that. I love sharing that with people.
Yeah. Hal Jordan said the mothership was cool. Look, I do not disagree. I backed 2 of them. I've said that openly. I got nothing to hide. I don't need anyone's validation. I backed 2 of them. There you go. It was something different and new. Do I agree with one of the comments on my video on it that has always stuck with me, that it's HasLab pricing with reaction quality? Yeah. I think the timing, because they hadn't done anything O-ring yet. That was like their first, like, hey, we're going to do this. So that timing was not good. The time of the year was not good. Right? It was around, it was like during and like right around the holidays. There were other campaigns going on at the same time too. I think they should have just like got the line going, get it established, put out some bangers. I already mentioned a few. And then maybe do your crowdfund, but don't start with that super expensive crowdfund. And that's just me. But did I want to have it? Yeah, I did. Steve's Toys brought one to DFW last year that he 3D printed based off those designs, which I guess Flynn asked him nicely to not make it, because Flynn is saying that he's probably going to launch it again. And so Steve stopped making them, but I did see one physically in person, and I thought it was fucking rad.
And they made the tooling for those figures that were going to come with it. So like they know that they're holding the tooling for those, and they go, when are we going to release these? We'll find out.
Yeah, man. 100. BTK. I am sick of shills just saying, aren't you guys? Jeff?
I watch different creators and different shows at different times where I want different things. The same way when I eat, right? Go, okay, I need to eat healthy now. I need to have dessert right now. I need to have a second thing. So once in a while, I'll indulge, right? You kind of go, I want to enjoy this person or this thing. So it depends. If someone else calls them a shell, that doesn't mean I do. That just means I enjoy the content for the way in which I'm partaking the content, absorbing it. And sometimes when you absorb stuff, like it's just for you to take in to share with someone else. It doesn't mean you're buying into it. It just means you're taking it in, right? It's like the reason that we read automatically, but I don't have to sit down and read the thing. My eyes automatically read it. So you just take it in, and sometimes it's for you to share out later in your own way. It doesn't mean you have to be buying. It doesn't mean you bought into something. That's my thing.
Man, that's the whole thing's a slippery slope, right? Because I think that word, it gets abused.
Can.
Are there shills? Yeah, absolutely.
That get stuff for free.
I did that video and I showed like 100% bulletproof examples, like watertight examples of many different shills. Now, granted, most of them were in like the video gaming and Star Wars kind of corners of fandom, but yeah, they're out there. Yeah. I think the whole access for like softball questions and safe spaces, I think that's a huge point of shilling, especially when we look at like GI Joe fandom.
Mm-hmm.
GI Joe fandom is not very big. It's actually kind of niche these days. If you want to see what fandoms are the biggest, I've said this numerous times, go down the party aisle in like Party City or Walmart or Target. You will see what IPs are big, and it's not fucking GI Joe.
If they're marketing more than a toy, because GI Joe used to do more than toys, like with the soap on a rope.
Yeah.
And like you look at and go, Marvel is doing that, Batman does that, Star Wars does that, Minecraft does
Paw Patrol,
that.
Fucking
Paw Patrol
yeah, like that's the shit that is hot.
That.
It is not GI Joe.
Mm-hmm.
When you see these figures that Hasbro's putting out these days, it's not a million that they were doing in 85, 86, 87. No, you're talking like low thousands. It's not a lot. So the shilling does exist. There's, what my friend Elite Legend likes to call the free shit brigade. They are out there in toy collecting fandom. They're out there. There's a lot of them. But there's also the ones that like they get, Lenny and Emily because they're safe and they're not going to ask about Hooded Cobra Commander and they're not going to bring up the police officer and they're not going to say like, hey, how come you're not doing X, Y, and Z? And they're not going to give them any pushback on the, the gummy accessories. They're safe.
It's points of business established before the conversation begins too. They said these are the rules, and that's where it's at. And like I work for business that does that, right? I understand the pre-established rules. You go, okay, it's like almost a gentleman's agreement ahead of time. You didn't sign something, but you know what you can or can't do. And
when when the legal department has to like look at your questions before you ask them, you're not going to get anything candid. So it is what it is. And like either you're doing it knowingly because you think having these people on your channel or your show is going to give you some kind of a boost, which it never does. Like, again, numbers don't lie. It never does. It never helps. Or you're willingly sacrificing your integrity just to get those people on your shit. It's one or the other.
Tricky balance.
At the end of the day, it's a slippery slope kind of conversation. The ones that I respect or appreciate are the ones that like admit it. Yeah, I'm a fucking shill. Okay, cool. Yeah. Moving on. I don't care. I don't care if you're a shill. I've said that numerous times. It's on record.
I would be in such a way like say, okay, well, I want to get so and so to be on my channel. I'm going to be interviewing them, and I'm going to see them because I'm a fan of theirs. And it may spike the numbers for that one. But does it bring more in? Did I sell out myself? Did I sell them out? Do I sell out my audience and my community, my fans, my followers? And I think that there's a level to which you just have to find wherever that balance is to go, well, I'm not selling out if I'm making do. And I'm not hurting my bottom line and I'm not hurting someone else's pocketbook. I didn't grab your money from you. So like if you're feeling Shield too, that's up to you. It's up to you to buy it, right? Like, yeah, okay, well, if the restaurant has a salad bar and you don't eat it, they didn't force you to have salad. It's still there. You can see it, but you don't have to have it. And I just think that there's levels to which there's people who just, you don't have to take it. Like you can watch it. You can turn it off. It's the same. There's more programs, more things to watch here. We're on the internet, right? On YouTube. And so just take in what you need to take in that stays healthy for you, that stays healthy for your pocketbook, for your space, for your well-being, like, and toys are the thing that give you a good well-being. And like, your budget that you can spend them with, but know your emotional budget too. Like know that like, okay, I'm going to get this thing. It's going to make me feel good. I'm not going to get this thing because I'm going to be afraid to miss out on it, but I'm going to enjoy having it regardless of what other people think. Like if this is the O-ring figure that I want, or I want the, classified figure, whatever it happens to be in the in-between, just enjoy what you enjoy. Like Chad does that. Like enjoy what you want. Don't be a dick.
Hey, Madgus is a shill, but nobody will send him anything for free. You got to focus that shilling, dude. You got to focus it, right? Focus. Somebody will send you some. You know what, dude? Shill for me. I'll send you some free shit.
He's going to send somebody a free thing right now. Somebody's
you probably won't like it, but I'll send you some free shit. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? That's cool. And I give Christopher McLeod all the credit in the world because he knows it. Again, he knows. That's fine.
Totally and if that's his lane, then he drives in it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to shit on him for it. So, Robert's Infinite Realms, I'm a shill for Valaverse because he makes good products, but Bobby never gives me free stuff because I didn't get enough views. See, I can't get called a Valaverse shill. I don't know. Maybe I can now because he announced what? 118 scale O-ring figures. Dude, were you in the room when they showed those figures?
I was not in the room, but I was on the floor, but no.
Suck the fucking air out of that room.
I bet it was cool.
Like people were like, what? And not in a bad way. It was just like yeah.
I was hoping that's what Big Secret was going to be like going into it. I saw the hints, that kind of go, okay, it seems like there might be possible, but never knew. Never knew until he's going to roll out.
No. So like I was allowed to make little, just little minor, it just kind of like getting that going, the hype train.
Yeah.
but it was so hard when people would mention it, and I'm obviously like, what? But for so long, man, Matt LaCroix would send me a fucking shot of a paint master and I'd go, oh, I'm keeping that picture, but I won't post it. So again, but that's where like trust comes in, because I've seen them since day zero, but I'm not gonna give that away.
And so like while we're talking about this, so like Patriot Force, you're not a shill for Patriot Force. You were a fan. Ryan chose to do a figure of you because you're a veteran. Because
the Patriot Force,
because he wants to.
The Patriot Force thing is different because I am an infantry veteran. I am, 22 years and change, 3 months, 14 days. In the U.S. Army infantry, like I lived it because of toys, and I knew what Ryan and Gavin were doing. And just as someone who believed in what they were doing, because a lot of it was about giving back to charities. It wasn't about making money. And he and I, we started talking, the 2 years that I'd seen him at Joe Fest. And then further on after that, I hooked him up with some people that could, help him bring his vision to life. And then we started talking, and he's like, as a toy collector, how do you want to see the vests done? As a toy collector, how would you like to see this done? As a toy collector, it was never like, do this for us, do this for us. It was like, I'm someone who, like, I know dollies. And that's just what it came from. And then one day he was like, hey, I would like to ask you, would you be in the line? And that was it. So,
and that's a tribute. It's not just like, oh, you're buying your own figure. Like, no, like I'm being given this thing to be created, like because he sees who I am in the values that he's putting in there in these figures, which are individuals. Yeah, so I got to sit at the table next to him, and I met Gavin. Gavin bought a few the NAM.
Gavin's cool, dude. That kid's cool. He's sharp.
He had the list of like the books that he needed. I was like, well, I got this one with Herb Trimpe art, and this one. I got this one with a Kubert, Adam Kubert cover, and this one. And he's like, yeah, I need this one, this one. Can I give him Sunday when I have the money? I was like, dude, I'm your neighbor. I'll see you Sunday, right? And it's the next day. And he brought his money in, and I got the books and said, I'm glad to help you complete your collection. These are great quality, the books that I had, right? Like, and gave him a deal just because I'm like, well, I know you do, of course. Like, I could give you a deal too now. Like, and it's just that feeling of just like you're sharing with someone else. You're sharing the passion. And I think that's different when people see it just as sales for a mega company.
Yeah, it's totally
sharing the passion for individuals. And that's what independent companies have differently. And so we see it differently. We don't say, I'm shilling for an independent, I'm shilling for Carson. Like, no, you're sharing a passionate thing that's a passion project that was independently created. And the bottom line was tough for them to get. And they had to lay a lot out for it and blow out the credit card and things. Like you see it with film, right, from Robert Rodriguez and Kevin Smith back in the early 90s. And like you look at their stories and go, yeah, they laid it out on the line. And like if it didn't go, they wouldn't be 30 years later what they are. And so we just try to do that with the independents now too.
Well,
Triple D needs a sticker.
Just to kind of end on what BT was sort of bringing up. A lot of people know Hasbro sent me that Viper 3-pack. I mean, that's cool. I don't really care about that line. Again, I don't shit on people who do. It's just the attitude that comes along with it. I didn't open it. I didn't review it. I'm not really a figure reviewing kind of a deal. I just fucking quietly gave it away. I mean, that was it. Like, hey, cool. Thanks for sending me this that I didn't ask for. But I also didn't sign the NDA that generally comes along with those free shit boxes that says, we are sending you this free box of shit. You have to fucking like talk it up.
Yeah.
So I just gave it away. Speaking of giveaway,
there's a giveaway.
I'm going to read a couple of super chats because we got to get to them. And then we're going to pull the trigger on this. So if you haven't put in for this free Praetorian Fury, do it now. Because like in 2 minutes, it's gone.
Last call.
Suka, my buddy, my friend, my pal.
You want me to read it, Chad? You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Hey, Chad, If they made a HasLab snowcat with a hot dog, would you eat it? I know I would.
Well, it does come with a fucking camping stove. So
for you, Mikey.
Maybe. Yeah. Dude.
I want to do it as well as Mikey can do it.
Look, Suka, I love you. Thank you for that. Thanks for the laugh. Thank you for being a channel member and a fucking mod and just an awesome friend. He can say that he's been in my game room that is nothing but 1/12 scale or 6-inch figures. He's seen it. He's been there. Yeah. He spent the night in there. It's fucking haunted, but it's not. It's not. I'm still a little. I'm not bothered personally, but I'm bugged for the people that wanted the snowcat because that was supposed to be a retail item, and
it can cost a lot more.
Suka and I have had numerous conversations about things related to, you know, the workings of that company, and another guy who I know who tells me stuff. We've had conversations too, but yeah, it was supposed to be retail. So was the Thunder Machine. They even said publicly, like, those aren't HasLabs. And to see the HasLab model getting abused because it's no longer about dream projects, it's now about what can we make the customers pay for the tooling on,
and it's big,
and then reuse it later and charge full price, because that's what it is. Retro Scarlet came from freaking Glenda.
Glenda, yeah.
100%. As soon as they showed that Glenda, I was like, oh, that's the customers paying for that Retro Scarlet tooling. As soon as I saw that Bivouac, I'm like, guess what's going to come in its original OD green colors in about 6 months?
2026, it'll be there.
I get it, but at the same time, it fucking irritates me. Not for me, but for the people who really want to see this stuff. It's like, you just paid for all of that. Like, they have zero risk in that. And then you're going to turn around and pay full price for it again. It's fucking dirty. I think it's dirty. The dream project could be like, we've been talking about the Defiant all night. Everybody knows that this thing is like, it's so big and so heavy, it fucking warps under its own weight. Why don't you do a new Defiant? That thing would fucking sell like mad, because I would buy 2.
Yeah.
Or, you know, do the 83 headquarters in classified scale, because you don't have a Mobat now, you don't have a Mauler, but you got a Vamp, you got a couple other things. Like, yeah, you're about at that point where you could make that. You got the MMS.
And they'll have those little box, field headquarters. I think the little field outlets that they made with the Alley Viper coming out again. Like, they're gonna make. They make little boxes. It's I forget what it is. Some in the chat knows what it is.
Battlefield accessories?
No, it's a little box, right? That's part of like a field play set, right? That they're doing with the Viper. Somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about. But they're making play sets, right? But they're making it tiny. So if you wanted to make something a little bigger, like, you know, the HasLab is a place where you can clearly make something that is big enough, like, because that snowcat is bigger than the his. And so to make something like that, you can make a play set equivalent for that didn't have to have existed in the exact model before.
I think bigger is a relative term, because it's not taller, it's not anything like that. But at the same time, HasLab went from the Kitana, which was fucking impressive, right? Almost the size of a flag.
What a job, yeah.
And now we're at Snowcat.
And the Thunder Machine was mentioned in the chat, and I agree, it's not a HasLab. I think they'll still focus on Thunder Machine because they've been so focused on Dreadnoks. They're building up to the Thunder Machine being the last big piece, because they haven't done Zanzibar, and that's the only other one that they haven't done classified as Thunder Machine. So I don't see them doing that as a HasLab, because I don't think you put electronics in it. I don't think you make it that big. I think that you make it, you know, maybe a little bit longer or bigger than the Vamp the Stinger, and then you'd be able to put it out in that box in that size. But
I think it's caca.
We'll see. And I mean, I don't have the space for the vehicles, right? Like the motorcycles is it. Like, that's all I can get for classified vehicles.
The reality is, no matter what, if you're only going to do small scale stuff like, oh, a Vamp and a Stinger and a Cobra Flight Pod and 19 different Rams, that's cool. But where's the Silver Mirage? Where's Checkpoint Alpha? Where's the smaller stuff that you could have been doing all this time? And it is, oh, come here, baby, come on.
And they don't want to put them out without a figure.
It is
So that's
still,
it, too.
no matter what, dude.
Look at
it's
that
still,
little dog.
Yeah, my girl. That's my
She's so
baby.
big.
It's
She
still
got some-
square pegs in round holes, no matter what, because you're taking a world building line, and you're not world building it. You know, and that's just my opinion. Hey, baby, what you doing? Come here, Odie. Come here.
Guess
Have you seen my Malinois? Come here.
Not in a couple weeks. Not I don't know.
Oh, I'm
last
sorry.
video I
The
saw.
Mam's Malinois, and she is the Mam's dog. Did you hear her? She goes, "My Malinois." She won't come over here.
My dog is under the foot here. My dog is a Maltese, right? And she's only like 10 pounds. So
There she is.
your dog's so big.
Oh, dude, yeah. So
Look at
this
Look at
is a murder floof. Look at it. Look at how dangerous and mean this dog is.
No,
Yeah.
that might
She's
be.
none of that. Yeah.
Aw.
But dude, when people see her out and about and they're like, "Is that one of those dogs?" It's like, yeah, that's one of those dogs.
I was friends with a pit bull, right? Friends had this pit bull for a long, long time. It was just the friendliest, wonderful thing. Like you just loved all over. He just was a face licker all day, every day. But it was the friendliest one thing. And you just like go. The dogs can be made to be a fighter. They can be made to be angry.
No.
They can be made to hate people.
Odie does exactly what she's supposed to do. We go to the dog park and she'll check it out. She'll check out the other dogs and then she'll come lie right at Mandy's feet. And she just like stays with her mom. And if another dog starts coming over, she goes over to that dog.
Yeah.
You know, like she does not let other dogs get near Mandy. Anyway, so let's
My dog is a party girl. Like she'll see somebody and just wait and watch like half the block.
Oh, that's Callie.
Callie.
Callie's friendly with everybody. Man.
And just like all of a sudden that person will come and go. And then she's like, okay, now I want to meet someone else. Just wants to meet everybody.
Well, so Suka sends a $5 super chat. Thank you, my friend, and says, Chad, how insensitive are you? Remember that we make toys. Yeah, we watched the Rattler unboxing video on my couch on my big screen TV, and the ma'am kept coming in the room going, are you guys really watching that? We're like, yeah, we're watching this. And so she was like, I just want to let everyone know we're in the business of making toys. And it was just like jarring. So don't call out QC and design problems. Kids love these 40-year-old crowdfunded designs. Okay. Thank you, Suka. I appreciate you, my friend. And since you did it,
Chad, why are you so insensitive?
Yeah.
The scuba variant.
Oh, yeah. The scuba variant. Shilly is her name. Our good friend TJC, who I love and I always love to see, sends beers. Thank you for being a channel member for 14 months. I miss you, my friend, and we need the game. James Lucas, channel member for 14 months, says, do it, Doug. I don't have that clip, but can't go wrong with Mallrats, right? It's a great
Jay's
movie.
got it. Yep.
Joe Bits, awesome dude, sends a $2 super chat. Thank you, Joe Bits, and says the O-ring Vala figures look incredible. They do. They really, really do. The guys who worked on those just knocked it out of the park. And I may have a picture of a certain variant. I won't tell anybody. Thank you, Joe Bits. I appreciate that. And Stacy, channel member for 12 months, says, Chad, hi. Hi, Stacy. Good to see you. I don't have the screaming Chad chickens, but yeah, you're one of the best. Thank you so much. You guys want to kick this pig? You want to kick this pig now?
It's good time. Yeah. Oh, you got over 100. 104.
TJC, is Bobby doing a figure of you in the line, Chad? No. There was a joke about a con exclusive that he's doing, which it's kind of like a version 2 of a previous figure. And because he's wearing Peltors, people and shades, people are like, is that kind of like a mask, Chad? It's not. It's just a joke. That is not me, not happening, not a thing. I was not asked. I hope Bobby does blind box weapons packs, and those are similar grenades. Yeah, all the blind bags are going to be those smoke grenade bodies. But yeah. Okay, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. We got 104. Draw it. Oh, Chris from Cutthroat Comics. Look at that. Well, I talk to Mr. Chris all the time. congratulations, Cutthroat Comics, and I will hit you up on Facebook and get your address. Same Shane from Same Time Toy says no whammy. No whammy.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop.
Oh, Action Joe Figs. I'm looking forward to the 1944 figures. Dude,
that's cool.
Those are going to be nuts, man. Jeff says, I don't know if he's here. Well, of course he's here. He put his name in. Lord of Brooklyn. I was robbed. I'm sorry. You're not robbed. That's just how it goes. I'm sorry. George Aiken says, just a thought, would that smoke grenade packing get through customs? You know, somebody else mentioned that too. And I don't know what to say to that.
So I got this. I had this shipped to myself, right? Because this is Army gear, right?
Yeah.
From the 80s. So I said, I don't know that I will be able to get this on my carry-on. So I may have to mail it to myself, even though, right, like it's a toy, right? But you look, if it's in blade form, you know, it's like, don't mail Megatron in gun form. But like, it was brilliant, right? It's like, they're going to take this if I put it in my carry-on. So I had to mail to myself.
Well, they can scan these things and see like what they're made out of, like the density and but I'm sure that some kind of custom something will be worked around. However, pause for dramatic effect. George Aiken is not the only one to mention that, so I'm sure it's on his radar. Madgus says,
if you do have, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, if you have Pop-Tarts and they're in the silver packaging, one pair of Pop-Tarts in silver packaging is fine. Fun fact, when you travel with a few packs together, that silver packaging will alert them in your carry-on and they will check your bag because they will see that silver packaging. And I guess it gets to be like MRE size or something because they just go, okay, it's Pop-Tarts, that's fine. And my bag has gone through fine with Pop-Tarts, but when you put multiple ones together, it's flagged it twice and I stopped doing that.
Well, I don't want to get Homeland Security on my ass or yours, but I will tell you this. You can't x-ray through peanut butter. So I've seen a lot of soldiers send some shit home in jars of peanut butter. I'm not saying, just saying.
Just watch.
Mr. Madness.
He's in his ass. His watch.
Wow. He gave me the watch. Madgus says, I couldn't bring myself to buy this year's HasLab. It just wasn't enough there for me to love. Just didn't want to wait a whole year just to have ice in the middle of the Arctic. I mean, you know, it is what it is, right? I don't know. I don't know what to say. So, not buying blind bag figures ever. Okay. Do what makes you happy, right?
The closest thing I've done to that was in the vending machine, where you just like, oh, which one am I going to get out of these, you know, football helmets or something? You go, whichever one I get's what I get. But that's probably the only time I've bought a blind bag thing.
Look,
I've not.
We drive all the way to Dallas, and it is myself and Jacob Real in my car, and Suka in his car behind us. Right, we just kind of caravan. We had to go all the time. It was freaking awesome drive. We get there, we're like, let's go to the store. And we go to Walmart, and I'm just buying like, oh yeah, this Transformer, and I'll take another one of this guy, and I buy a whole freaking case of Blockies. Like, you wouldn't know we were going to a toy show because I did it before we left, and then I did it once we got there. Those are blind bags. Like, I mean, it is what it is. You just, you know, have fun with it, right?
Depends if you want them all or
to each their own. Hal says blind bags are awesome. Jedi Ben, I don't get it. It's totally fine. But if you have army builders, if we're talking about 1/18 scale Valaverse, which I'll tell everybody now, everybody who's still here, all 170 of you. Next Sunday, Bobby Val is coming on the show, and we are just going to break down all this 1/18 Valaverse Action Force stuff. I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions. I'm sure for some of them I'll get the maybe, but he knows when he comes on me, we talk some shit, we have some fun, I ask some hard questions. But if you get army builders in blind bags and you get named individual characters on card, I see that as a good meet in the middle. That's just me.
Yeah.
So blind old bags are all that I can pull.
You old bag.
What the fuck?
What the fuck did I just hear?
That's probably gonna get comment of the night. I don't know. I freaking like that one, man. That shit.
That reminds me that Ruth Buzzy has passed away. Rest in peace, Ruth Buzzy, who played a great, old bag on Laugh-In, 50 years younger than she was. Like she was, 30s and 40s when she played that character, and lived to be near 90 years old. But one of the great old bags has passed away.
Mo says blind bags are good for some items. But I just want to be able to get every character without having to buy 10 blind bags. Well, again, if named characters are on blister cards and army builders are in, smoke grenade bodied blind bags, there you go. Again, whatever. BT says, I like your t-shirt, Chad. I watched your hotel toy haul. Thanks, man. Yeah, this is
originals.
I won that in the silent auction. And I'm really glad I won this shirt because now I'm in the club, right? With like Kirk.
That's a
and all
rare
that.
one, yeah, because only like the designers have that one that I've seen. So like it being in the auction is really cool.
Yeah. I know. Don't do it. Yeah.
Never go full classified.
We don't want to do it. Victor Matthews, what's up, my friend? Chad, you like the collaboration of Joe's with Joy Toy? You mean, do I mix Joy Toy and GI Joe? Yes, I do. If that's what you're asking. I don't know. Chad bought so much shit, he's in the shit. I'm not. You just saw the ma'am. Everything's cool. I'm fine. No, there's no price point put out there for the O-Ring Valiverse Action Force yet. No. Oh, he's asking what if Joy Toy did Joe? Did Jeff just leave? Well, Jeff will have to come back. Now there's like nothing on the screen. That's weird. Anyway, Joy Toy. Bye, I guess. Then we'll see if he comes back. I offended him. Get the fuck out of here. Hey, here we go. Tired of my jibba jabba. You know what Jeff said? Jeff said this. Shh. I'm hard to love, kids. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's probably just going to be me finishing this out. Yeah, I have no idea. Jeff said I'm done with this Chad guy. Fucking pull that ripcord. I don't know, man. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm gonna show her my O-ring face. Yeah, exactly. Are we good on starred comments? Lunchbox Killer 805 sends a $2 super chat. Says Wolverines. Hell yeah. You know it, buddy. Thank you very much. I met LP and was disappointed. Channel member for 12 months who used to be my zombie finger. Yeah. It was fun seeing you at DFW. See you next year. Dude, it was awesome running into you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the laughs and the good times. Speaking of fake fun accounts, there's one that I have to unban that Scuba accidentally banned, and I got to unban that. And this weird little shit off of here is just bugging me. Yeah. Father Son Galaxy, channel member for 12 months. Awesome dude. Says, cheers all. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Oh, look who's back. What'd you do?
Now mobile. It just went out on my computer. Just completely went out. Don't know.
That's okay. Look, it happens. It happened to me. It happened to you. Everybody in the chat was giving me shit about it. It was pretty fun.
I was like, that's fun. All right. So I'll be on my phone for the last bit.
Everybody said you got tired of my jibba jabba.
Jibba jabba. What jibba jabba?
Jibba jabba. Remember Jabberjaws? All Hanna-Barbera shit? Yeah.
I do. So like those cartoons would use so many of like the old style comedians, right? So like Joe Besser from the Stooges was one of those, and he was the genie. Yeah, he was a genie. And Jabberjaw. Yeah, he was like Curly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Jabberjaw was totally Curly.
That's right.
Yes, Cutthroat, you won.
I'll do this.
People were like, but he's not here. Yes, you did win. So send me your address on Facebook, because you and I talk on there all the time, and I will get you out this dolly. Yeah, he was the shark who talked like Curly. Yep. And he'd go,
Yep.
whoop, 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 whoop.
That's exactly it. Yep.
Ooh, what was your first GI Joe vehicle?
Mine might have been the Snowcat.
I think it was the Hal. And
mine
it wasn't
was an
even
85.
It's wheeled. It's towable. But I
Counts.
think my first figure was Flash. And then I want to say the Hal. I don't know, man. I got in real fast, real hard.
Mine was 85, so it might have been the
Great
Snowcat. Might have been.
Sorry, go ahead. What was yours?
Yeah, it might have been the Snowcat because I got into 85. So
Oh,
that's when I started buying the
you.
85s.
You're a young guy.
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
A squiggly wiggly for the win. What about Captain Caveman?
Captain. Caveman with his angels. Yeah. Teen angels, as they were.
Everyone does it. Now you can do it too. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut the hole in your face. Like that.
I couldn't see the comment. That's great.
Can you see it now?
The clip was going before I saw the comment. Yep, that's
yeah. Bill Utley's was the Mobat.
Nice.
Madgus was a Rattler. Logan APC. My first vehicle was the diving guy. You talk about the shark in Deep Six. Fucking 2 points of articulation, Deep Six. Hey, at least the modern one, he had more articulation. But yeah, Deep Six was cool, man. He had that little bellows, and he would. Boop. Yeah, it was fun. Mine was the MMS. First figure was Short Fuse because he's from Chicago.
There you go.
Nice. There's something else I want to get into. Can you see this comment?
Thunderfang, his tank, and HQ. It sounds like it's one thing, but yeah.
That's a lot of words. It's a lot of words all strung together. Kenzo's was the Night Raven. Oh, man.
I got that Christmas that year. That was a Christmas gift that year.
Lou said either the Vamp or the Ram. Can't remember. Yeah, I want to say mine was the Hal, but I don't know. I know figure. So, yeah. Ooh, Serpentor in the Air Chariot.
Nice.
Look at this guy. This is why I love Kevzilla. M period, M period, S period. And the Hiss or High Speed Sentry, not a tank.
The Hiss.
Look at that. And that's right. Guy Cassidy did. He fucking did. He was like, no, it's not a tank. And I was like, yep. So did
Perfect.
Come on, it's right there. I'm having one of my moments. Thrasher. We were just talking about him. Kunitz.
Kunitz.
Yeah. Kunitz was like, no, it's not a
Dave
tank.
Kunitz.
Yeah. Because I was standing around talking to them all and just catching up. And I was like, hey, so Kirk, did you ever catch the Hiss is not a tank video? He was like, yeah, I saw it. It was great. I was like, so many people give me shit about that. And he's like, it's not. They just made it one. And he's like, we used to tell them all the time. When the designers got your back, you know what's up.
Because then they did that Sears, right? That is the red one, and that was a tank because that's the Mobat. This Cobra version, the red one, not the Hiss, but the red Sears tank.
The Hiss 2 had mention about the driver and the tank, but it didn't say tank on it. The septic tank, right? Eco Warriors, because it's a septic tank. Those are real things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was really, or Arise Serpentor Arise Part 1, Sunbow
Hawk's dialogue.
Season 2, where Hawk
right.
calls them his tanks, and that's when it took off. And then
The stuns.
later on
about
down the
tank,
line, you saw that kind of brute think, and then it started showing up on packaging post Hiss 2.
That's right.
So yeah.
I do love the Hiss 2.
Originally,
I love
right,
the
Hiss was a
2 that you got.
6-wheeled vehicle.
That Hiss 2 that you picked up last week, that color, that's perfect. That black and red, that strikes. I love that.
100%.
That would sell. They get all those, that would sell.
Oh, thank you very much.
Hey,
that was
he
my
said
first
earlier.
ad video, and it was great. I appreciate that. I still catch shit for that to this day.
I'll only take a little bit of credit.
Yeah, just a little. Just a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Give me a little bit. Mother Slug, what was the most realistic vehicle Joe's had? I think it was the bridge layer behind you. The toss and cross bridge layer right there. Okay, so the toss and cross, yes, because it is based on the Army AVLB, also lovingly referred to as a very large bridge. The Vamp is 100% accurate because it's based on the Lamborghini Cheetah, even though that is not a military vehicle. It was just Lamborghini's off-road effort. The Mobat, which the one I'm pointing at, by the way, is my Z-Force Mobat. Thank you, because I'm a hipster. That's based on the M70 main battle tank. The APC, Mauler, Mauler. Obviously, the Dragonfly. The Dragonfly is based on the AH-1 Cobra or the Super Cobra. Yep. There's a lot. There's actually a lot. The MMS. There's the SAS Palatoy version, but the MMS, or the surface to air missiles, that is actually called the Hawk missile system. That is a real missile system, and that's why the figure that came with the MMS was called Colonel Hawk, because it's based on the Hawk missile system.
And anybody who wants to see that, they can dive into your channel from 2 years ago or so. You showed
There was a short that I did with the full size, the 1-to-1 scale, no shit, Hawk missile system with me.
That was cool to see.
There's a lot in GI Joe that is pretty freaking accurate.
Yeah.
In the earlier years. Well, 93, the Ghost Striker X16 is just based on the F16.
Ghost Striker's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. The GI Joe Storm Eagle, right, with the squirt gun. That's based
what do you
on
think
the
about the Hammer, because it being close to the Humvee of, it's the GI Joe version of the Humvee.
Yeah, the Hammer is very close to the 1151 Alpha 1 of the Humvee, or the high mobility multi-wheeled vehicle. That's pretty much dead on. I mean, they jode it up. You got to put they call it prupasseri, right? Like when I was talking with Frank on my video, where it's like bristling with shit.
Yeah.
Because that's the play features. That's the toyetic play value.
Yeah.
But the Ghost Striker X16, the GI Joe Storm Eagle, which is based on the prototype YF-23. There's a lot. The Night Raven, some argue Firefox MiG-31, some argue SR-71. I say it's kind of a mixture of both. That's just me.
Yeah.
I never got a solid answer from them if they based it on the SR-71 or not. So, yeah.
It's good answers.
I loved my 1151. Yeah, I love my 1151s as well. Absolutely. The Whale. Yes and no. So the Whale is based on a hovercraft, which is known as an LCAC. They're Marine Corps vehicles. They're obviously for beach landings. But the LCAC, the Whale's a little more like future forward version of an LCAC. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Conquest X-30, that is based on another experimental aircraft. For sure. And yeah. Obviously the Rattler is the Mars Industries version of the A10 Thunderbolt 2. But I made that custom one that is like a no shit A10 Thunderbolt 2. Oh, you got the Tiger Rat? Is that your Slave
so I
1?
got the Tiger Rat. I got the A10 over there.
Is that Slave 1? You're fucking
that is
canceled,
Slave 1.
bro.
That is Slave 1.
You're canceled. Can't have anything that says slave around here. Yeah, the F-22 I picked up, but that's not GI Joe. No, it is not. The Whale is a vehicle and a playset. That is true, as is the General and a bunch of others like that. What are you pointing at? I just see you moving shit.
There it is. Can you see that? No, maybe. I don't know.
Is that
I got my
devilfish?
sitting on there. Is
it devilfish on top of your whale?
It is, but just for fun.
They're making a baby.
It's making a baby, and it's got the pod from the Vector back here.
Hey, Woody said that you need to change the name of that Star Wars vehicle to Indentured Servant 1. HGC says, I like your devil whale, man.
I like your devil whale. Is that way I can keep the devilfish sitting out. So.
Yeah, the Cobra Stinger is a variant of the Vamp, which is, obviously the Lamborghini Cheetah. You're not going to put 4 fucking surface-to-air missiles or surface-to-surface missiles on that thing because that's just not going to happen. There is no way a frame like that is going to be able to accommodate those because I fired tow missiles off of up-armored Humvees, and that vehicle moves a lot.
The toy can barely accommodate those.
Oh, show everyone your Seawolf. Did you see my Seawolf?
I thought it was awesome. Yeah, those are good colors, though. It's like this, it's like that Ace, right? It's like there's just something about doing different colors that just makes the design even better.
Yep. Just that subtle gray. Yeah. It's Chad. Did they make a remote control whale? They did not. No. They only made 2 whales. They made the original whale, and then they made the Night Force Night Striker, which was exclusive to Toys R Us. Very rare. I restored one.
It's a good video.
Then I gave another one away to my buddy Nick from Neon at Night. And then they were supposed to make the 1995 Battle Corps Rangers Seawolf, and then they, Ginger Kent got Alan Hassenfeld to fucking kill a real American hero before that. So. The F-22 is the one from Spy Troops. Yes, that's a GI Joe Thunderwing. And if my room didn't look the way that it looks, I could probably go get it
somewhere.
Chad, didn't I win your Night Force whale? No, you didn't. No, trust me. That didn't happen. The Storm Eagle. Yeah, I mentioned the Storm Eagle. That's based on the YF-23. Oh, the Hover Strike hovercraft. Yeah, but that wasn't a whale. Suka, actually, you motherfucker, actually. All right, I'm gonna bring one more thing up because we're gonna beat this up and then we're gonna call it a day. So, do you remember? So we just had the 4th of July, right? We just had Independence Day. I don't call it, 4th of July. I like to call it Independence Day. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th of July is just a date. That's also not the date that we actually, declared independence. That's just when those papers made it out to a lot of people because, horses aren't fast. This is what G.I. Joe, a real American hero, stood for, right?
100%.
Okay, I'm going somewhere, so everybody stay with me. Yeah, Logan says, damn, that's cool, right? Is it fucking not? These old oil paintings, they're so fucking...
Yeah, that's the art. That's the art right there.
Oh, yeah. Real American Hero is all about this. You got to remember, this we were coming back. United States just beat the Soviet Union in hockey, of all things, right? We got our hostages back from Iran. We were kicking ass. Everything was going good. What demographic does Hasbro covet or cater to now with classified? Is it children? Is it like the Gen Alphas, the Millennials, the Gen Zs, or is it the Gen Xers?
It's Gen Xers and Millennials for real.
Us who grew up as children with this, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So if that's what era of G.I. Joe we're trying to, I guess, reproduce, steal from is what I like to call it. Yeah. Adults who collected the originals. So here's the thing. If this is what Hasbro is after, the Gen X adults with a lot of disposable income, I'm getting there, right? I'm trying to build it up. The next thing we're going to look at is going to be one of these.
Yo, asshole! You look like you bumped your head or something. An imbecile. Ain't no Chris Angel mind freak, David Blaine trapped all horse shit jumping off here.
Thank you very much, Sergeant Lincoln Osiris, for that segue into this week's Imbecile of the Week quote. If this is a generation that Hasbro and the Joe team are going after, not reinventing, not doing something new, but we're going after Gen X, real American hero people. Why in the fuck am I looking at this? The thing killing most of my enjoyment for GI Joe is the rampant military propaganda it encourages. Things that didn't bother me as a kid, I can't help but think of differently now. I don't even want to own these toys anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to shit in this guy's cereal, but I left his name up because, he put it out there for the fucking world to see it. So, you know what I mean? I've stepped in it. People quote me and show my shit. I don't give a fuck, right? Some big fat motherfucker said that I am the toxic face of GI Joe fandom, but he wouldn't name me. I'm at least going to name this fucking guy. This, right? Again, we're going after this. Yeah. But that's what you get with it. Not everybody, but a lot of them. You see this a lot. Like the people who say, oh, Hooded Cobra Commander's not a big deal. Let it go. You know why they say that? Because Hasbro says let it go, right? We're towing that line. This is that bullshit, man. As someone who spent an entire lifetime in the infantry because of GI Joe, rampant military propaganda it encourages. That bugged the fuck out of me.
I bet. Yeah, that's the one really that sticks. That part, yeah.
So I just wanted to share that because to me that's that bullshit, boy.
Because the reason we care is not because there was military propaganda that got into our bones early that feeds into our nostalgia. The reason we care is because of the characters. We care about the designs of the vehicles, the characters, the outfits. We care about the heroism. And we care about, the smoothness of the villainy because of the storytelling. We don't care to be part of Cobra unless we're cosplaying, unless we're just like, well, that's us playing pretend, the same way we did as a kid. But with Mark Webber said it, right? The brand is about heroism because that's why the characters endure. That's why people love Sunbow. That's why they can love their toys. That's why they can love the comic books. The characters are the brand, and the vehicles and the designs and the outfits that go with those are part of the brand. Some people feel otherwise, right? And they just feel like, oh, well, this thing is just nostalgia based, and so I don't want it for nostalgia. This thing is just a kid's thing, and I don't want it because I'm not a kid anymore. But then they look in certain ways, like this person might, and say, well, I bought into it then, but I don't now. Well, it depends. Like, what did you think about it then, and what do you think about it now? But also look through it in a couple lenses. Look at it through the creativity. Look at it through the heroism and the strength and the fact that you care about certain characters, not because of their role in the army or the military or the Joe brand, but because you like the characters. And if you like the characters, that's great. But it doesn't have to stomp on your worldview or your politics or anything in between. It's just about the connectivity that you may have felt then and the connectivity that the companies and the IP wants you to feel now. And you can choose to not like it and not care about it. But it's up to you. And it's fine to have an opinion about it. And that's why Chad is sharing it here, because he said, here's an opinion I disagree with. And that's it for a discussion. You know, he's not trying to hate on this person. He's just trying to open it up for discussion to say why and why not.
No, I'll fucking hate on this guy to his face if he said that within earshot of me.
Within earshot
The
of
point
you,
is,
it's different.
GI Joe is a daring, highly trained special mission force, right? They're adaptive. So you take Adventure Team and all this other stuff that came before a real American hero, and you remold it into the time that we lived in the 80s, right? It was the Cold War, the October Guard. They were a very big part of the real American hero comics, like from the word go. You know, the October Guard was more fleshed out than fucking Cobra was in the earlier issues. Like, a lot of people don't know that because I don't fucking read the old Marvel comics. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
We just spent how many decades fighting wars because we were told to fight wars? That's not about military propaganda. That's about selfless service and defending the American fucking people so they can get on Blue Sky and shit on a brand and shit on the military at the same time. Get fucked. And I love this comment. I like Power Rangers, but I don't like that it promotes beating up giant aliens who want to conquer the earth, right? Like, it's fiction. Get fucked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Matthew, that one. There he is right there. Probably has a Kamala doll. Fuck your Blue Sky account. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna rip on it. I'm sorry. If you want to turn around and rip on me, that's fine. You know, maybe you can get the dirt crew to cry about it. But well, cock-a-doodle-doo. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, Blue Sky, that checks out. He can send his Joy toys this American's way. Oh, Stu's leaving. Peace out to that whole cabal. Ooh, I like that.
Cabal.
Sounds international and dangerous. Thanks for Chad and Jeff. Peace out to you all. Stu, thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. Woody says people in this world can't look through many lenses anymore. It seems like everybody is on a fucking monocle.
That's a good way of saying it, Woody. Like, yeah, because we have to be able to like stop and go, okay, well, what does this
Dude, they're
mean
toys.
to this person to me? Yeah, like, yeah.
But I see this as like it's like a second, third order of effect thing. I understand that we're all entitled to our opinions because, you know, freedom of speech is one of those freedoms that we should always promote. But the flip side of freedom of speech is I can grab what you're free to say and I can fucking destroy it if I choose to. But they're toys. And part of that second, third order of effect is when you only target adult collectors who, again, were all about this when we were kids, but now have a problem with it. Maybe you should expand. And this isn't me so much crapping on Michael's opinion here. This is more like you kind of reap what you sow sort of a thing. There's a lot of people in G.I. Joe fandom who I was surprised to learn. Again, I'm not shitting on people's political preferences because as much as I love Just Jeff, like ideologically, we're completely opposite. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care. It has no effect on me whatsoever because I love Jeff for Jeff, not for what he votes or anything like that. And this is no way supposed to be about that kind of a topic. But it's just one of those things. Like, I was shocked to see how many, like, I'm going to say like commies. Like, there's a lot of fucking bleeding heart liberal commies that collect Joe. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, did you take a wrong turn somewhere? Just shocks me.
It's interesting why people like what they like.
Those are people who didn't want that cop figure to come out. So, what you got? What do you got? Say it.
I just think it's interesting that people like what they like because we can like some of the same things, but then, like you say, ideologically, there are people who fall all over the spectrum, right? And you just say, but we still have things in common. We still have things that bond us, connect us, and help us communicate to learn about the other things, whether we bridge them or not. But we still have lines of communication open. I think that's what we're here for on this earth, right? It's like find the way to communicate, find the way that we bond, and find the way to be. And you just got to go, man, we're working on it. You know, we made it work as kids. We made it work through high school, you know, our professional careers, lives, and like we make it work in the hobbies and online. And sometimes you go, well, my job isn't to change this person's mind. My job of my own self in the employment of one is to say, well, how can I understand it? How can I at least get in and kind of go, okay, I wonder what that's about. Man, I don't have to like that. I don't have to agree with it, but like, it'll help me understand why I believe what I believe.
No, I absolutely agree with you. And I gotta, echo the sentiment of what Vache said. If you're stressing about collecting, you're doing it wrong. 100%. Like what you like, do your own thing. Even this guy's opinion, like I respect his opinion. I don't have to agree with it, and I can shit on it, but I respect that you have an opinion. Fucking A, right? But as kids, we played with toys because toys teach you imagination, creativity, story time, sharing. Remember sharing, kids? Sharing. Spatial awareness. All sorts of stuff toys taught us. And the funny thing is, a lot of people that collect toys nowadays have forgotten all of that stuff that made toys so important to our childhoods. Oh yeah, trading toys too. Remember trading toys?
Think about the PSAs that they put.
I got 2 Darth Vaders. What do you got?
The Joes did the PSAs, public service announcement.
Yep.
And all of the core things that they mentioned in every one of those PSAs is true, right? Like some of them may have aged differently and changed, but like, even if it's just like, yeah, look both ways before you cross. If, the train thing's coming down, don't cross it. Like, and that sounds basic, but for some people, they get to learn it right there and they go, oh, that's a good idea. And like, I think that those things that like, they were put on there by people in the educational field to say, well, kids are being reached by this, so we get 30 seconds at the end to do this. And it hurt no one. And it's one of those things you go, yep, I can still go back and look at it. And we can look at the ones that are comedically done, pork chop sandwiches and otherwise. Yeah. But like the lessons were there because they said the heroes will share it. So like, let the hero share it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. See, look at this. GI Joe made me want to be a fucking hero.
There you go.
Yeah. I was going to say something.
Put that on a t-shirt.
I don't know. Father Son Galaxy says it's so secret I've never heard of it. Secret Galaxy, Toy Galaxy, fucking Dan Larson.
Father Son operating their own galaxy.
Yeah, Secret Galaxy, Toy Galaxy. Dan Larson. Yeah. Hal Jordan says everyone loves me and I'm shit. I love you.
Hal Jordan's avatars are like a blind box. You never know what you're gonna get. Like there's that.
They're so good. They're so good.
Every picture, every time. He'll change it mid-show. I've seen it.
Gonzo says, speaking of PSAs, we met that gentleman outside in the smoking area, Michael Charles Hill, right?
Probably him, yeah. Because Greg Berger didn't.
I still want to freaking remember who came up to me and said that he was talking about me. I want to hear that story. Because I forget shit. You know what I mean? Uh-oh. What did I do? Did I do something? What did I do?
I can't see it.
Dude, you're oh, the caca that you're shit? I didn't say it. You fucking said it. Yeah. Yep. God bless America, Yojo. Oh, Masters of the Universe is satanic, right? Remember that shit? The satanic panic and everybody freaked out over Skeletor and yeah, Castle Grayskull.
There's more good art. Motu art, that Earl Norem stuff. Man, yeah. The whole world that they said, look, here's the world of it. You be your imagination, here's the picture. Imagine that. Go play. Yeah.
Yeah,
you could choose
the guy who thrusts at podiums when he's on stage with the GI Joe team. HGC says GI Joe International Hero. Canadian Joe Stickers headquarters was almost mine back at Toylanta. Ooh.
Slow.
I mean, couldn't you really just get Toy Hack sticker sheets and put the Canada stuff on it? Yeah, and Church warned us about Masters of the Universe. Yeah, look at this. I'll be 60 next month and I still collect. Hell yeah, dude. That's why you're one of my favorite people. I love it. I love the energy that Axon Joe Figs has. He's like, I'm all about the 12-inch stuff, but I'm still here to celebrate. I love it.
Yeah,
it's cool.
That's the thing, and it's educational too. You can learn from everybody's generations of care and their figures. I collect buy troops, right? But there was someone who did, who would probably say, hey, look, here's the cool thing amongst it that you'd have liked. And I can like it now, even if it's 20, 25 years old. Like, cool, I'm glad to discover it now. And that's really cool. That's fun. Like the trivia that I get to do at DFW show, like the guys who are the action adventure team stuff from the 70s, and you look and go, oh, clearly there was a vulture that came with one of these characters, like that was in a question. Like, I had no idea. And it's like that I've taken with me. I can't remember which one, but I know that it happened. I can go back and have a touch base, and and they can look at stuff and go, oh man, we didn't watch the 80s cartoon, we don't know that one. You can learn it. Yeah, that episode was weird.
I'm 50 and I'm still shilling. I'm 50 and I need to find something to shill for. What should I shill for, Jeff?
Smithers, bring me a shill.
Smithers. What should I shill for?
Cupcakes.
No, that's not a toy.
For a toy?
Let's see. I can't shill for Gridiron. That's taken. I can't shill for GI Joe. That's classified. Got it. Like, I can't shill for classified. That's taken. Can't shill for Valaverse. That's taken.
I don't know what counts. Yeah, like call sign longbow. Like I don't know what counts.
There it is, right there.
And he changed his picture, like I said.
And he changed his picture.
It was so bad. The funk hit you like boom.
I don't know why I picked that one. I think I got a little punchy. But what's up, Hal? What do you got there, buddy? Shill for D's nuts. I think those are taken too. My grandfather was a medic in World War II. How freaking cool is that?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, look.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
The joke is that I'm responsible for them, but I'm not responsible for them.
Will he let you? Is that a question you post into him next week?
I'll ask him next week.
Yeah. Some of the folks here in chat will be here. They'll echo it. Yep.
610, what's up, dude? Says, yes, sir. My mother threw away 3 different Skeletors and other demonic toys.
So
shill for Jada. Nah, I'm not down with Jada. No, not the coin, not a shilling. No. Action Force, shill for it. Hell yeah. Shill for Patriot Force.
Which shill will you die on?
I don't think you can shill for Patriot Force. One, because it's a Kickstarter of something entirely new. And 2, it didn't fund. Which I hate to see that, because Ryan and Gavin put years into that. Shill for me.
Shill for me.
Where's the trigger? Where's the shiller?
Mikey's being encouraged to bring the Batman mask to a future con for exactly that purpose. Mikey does his Batman. It's Dark Knight.
Oh God. Lone Wolf Toys did a few. Did you get any O-Ring Valaverse? They're not out yet.
I know.
Nope. Rachel! I don't have throat cancer. It's so good, man. Yeah, I don't know.
If I come up with something extra, I'll send to you. But I can't.
I'm just gonna shill for my YouTube channel.
Shill for Go-Bits.
They don't make Go-Bits anymore.
You can shill for the return of Go-Bits.
Wait.
It's a future shill opportunity. Oh, here you go. I got one.
They don't make Go-Bits anymore. What? Have I showed you this, dude?
Oh yeah, the cycle. Yeah.
A 9-inch Revenge of Kronos.
Really good looking. Yeah.
Dude, he's so rad, man, with the magnetic faces.
That's good looking.
I got the tank because, dude, I got Bike Robo and I was like, dude, he's so awesome. Blast effects, different magnetic faces, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
But then when I got Tank, he's only 5 inches.
Yeah.
He was not impressive.
It's not impressive comparatively.
No.
Here's the tank I got, right? Like, this is one of the super Go-Bits I have, and it's this one.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And I'd never seen this one in this size before, and it's like that day I was like, I'm getting this one. But yeah, that's like the super cycle. I got the super one, not the basic one. And when I got the super one, I was like, that's it. I will never need the small one because it's fragile and tiny, and like the big one is it. And the big one, a Joe can sit on it. The same way with this tank. It's good size.
Shilling for them
bits.
bits.
There it is.
We're shilling for bits. Yeah, dude, this Revenge of Kronos bike robo, the fucking Psykill, he's so good.
It's perfect.
So many points of articulation. Bike mode, he's fantastic too. And a classified figure fits on him just fine.
That's it.
How I know.
That's it.
Logan Holmberg says, I backed Patriot Force. Their downfall was not making the named characters as the entry point. Army builders should have been the stretch goals. The line is based around real people.
Hmm.
I respect that opinion. I don't really.
I'm sure they
I don't
thought
really
of
have
it,
a
right?
thought on that.
I'm sure they kicked it around to say what's the best way to start, and I'm sure that's a hard business decision one way or the other. There has to be a reason they did it the way they did.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know, it is what it is. Shill for blockies. I think like Nico and Ryan and all those dudes, they got that shit on lock, man.
Blind bag shilling, just any shill, anytime. I'll just shill for this thing.
Mother Slug says, my uncle was a real Joe, aka Frogman. Codename was Copper Penny.
Cool.
As late out of special forces, became a state police officer. That's awesome. That's really awesome.
That's cool.
GoBot should get made into Transformer size.
They did some.
A couple of them did.
Yeah. And the Super GoBots and the classic
But here
80s,
you
like
go.
Super GoBots are the big ones.
Yeah,
Emperor.
Hasbro owns GoBots because they bought Tonka Kenner or Kenner Tonka, depending on how you want to look. I call it Tonka Kenner. They bought Tonka Kenner back in 91. So, and then they ran Tonka into the fucking ground. Tonka's gone.
Yeah.
But
Tonka
yeah, they
was
could
tough.
make the Go Bits. Psykill was in some Transformers comics.
Was he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Must have.
Show enough. Shill for blind bags and never open them. Yeah. You're just the idea of a blind bag. Like, look at this, guys. Look at this. I got my new blind bag.
This is the most
Look at
exclusive
this.
one.
You got to go out and get this blind bag right now. Yeah. Okay. And then just put it down and never show what it is. Psykill got fucked by Megatron. Yeah, he did. That's that bullshit. That's that bullshit. Of course, Psykill's going to lose to Megatron in the arena. Tonkener. You remember Tonkener? I remember Tonkener.
Tonkener.
Yeah.
Good to see Pericles here, too. I haven't seen that name in a while. Good to see.
Yeah, Pericles is rad. CJ Prime. Wait, I thought you were a Super 7 shill. That hurt.
That's tough.
I'm not even going to play a clip. That hurt like in my soul.
What the fuck did I just hear?
What the fuck? Let's see if I can find one. No. I don't have anything for something that really hurts my feelings. Oh, here, how about this?
Everybody offends me.
Everything offends me.
Maybe that.
I've not seen that one.
You know what's funny? That was filmed in downtown Santa Fe.
Oh,
old Santa Fe, where that church is. I said I was joking. No, I know you're joking, dude. It's all cool. Crickets off with his head. Yeah. I'm just gonna shill for Shilling, my buddy Bear 11 Charlie, my mortar brother from the same Fort Benning mother. Oh, look at this! Now,
there you go. Off with his head.
Look at this. Now we're getting fucking spicy around here.
Ooh.
That's what I no. So many other people
Cold
are already on
Schiller.
the Cold Slither.
Cold Schiller, you'll be joining us soon.
I don't. So let me ask you something,
Mm.
and we'll call this like our final little segment discussion,
Sure.
whatever.
We've been going long.
Again, because you've been here for a long time. Do you feel I should chill for that mic guy? Sorry, I had to. Do you think that I don't even want to say renewed because it wasn't that popular in the 80s, this fervor around Cold Slither? Do you think it's because people really, really, really loved Cold Slither? Or do you think it's because Hasbro's making Cold Slither a thing? Do you think it's like a marketing machine thing like Justin Bieber? Or is it really because it's Cold Slither?
I think it's two things. I think it's unique to Joe because it's never been made outside of the episode back then. It didn't catch on to make a sequel, so it's a unique piece by itself. So it wasn't popular enough to say, oh, we'll do a follow-up in 86 or otherwise. But the figures never existed, and it's a variant, so you can do a variant of Zartan, variant of the Dreadnoks, where people didn't have a variant Torch, Buzzer, Ripper, and they're about to in the one scale. I think that there's a feeling of, well, it taps into 80s metal. And so that nostalgia piece of digging into the music, there's people who like, oh, I love Metallica up until after, the Black Album. Like that, there's people who like a certain vein of music that falls into for that niche piece, the same way that Spinal Tap does. Spinal Tap's comedic and it has its own little universe, but it taps into more than that because it's music, because it's faux documentary style, because it's comedic, and because it's a variant of these guys that I already like. So I think it falls into all that it just all of a sudden makes it that thing. Because I've started to think a little bit. I was like, what is the other Cold Slither piece that they could dig into, right? Like Super 7 did the little, like the subway figures of Cobra Commander, Baroness, and Destro at the end of Pyramid of Darkness. And they did that. It was a unique set. It's all three of them. So they did like a wink, wink. Here's a fun figure pack. And so they're touching into this, and it's not a wink, wink as much as it's a, hey, you guys like this? You can like it openly. We're going to make a bunch of it, and we're going to celebrate it. Here's the crater. Here's T-shirts. Here's music. And I think they're going all in because they know that it's a niche piece that will fad out. I think it will fade a little bit. I mean, Michael Charles Hill will get love until he passes away. Like the rest of his life, he'll get Cold Slither love that he didn't have before. But I do think that it's a unique piece that it's all of a sudden you want something different. Here's something that existed. People forgot about it. They didn't care. You can care now to the degree that you want to. If you don't want to and you don't dig it, no big deal. But like, I love those. I didn't buy them. I don't have hardly. I have a couple of the 5-point articulation Super 7s, but like the fact that they made a Nurse Baroness and a Construction Worker Zartan and a Handbag Lady Cobra Commander is niche. And Cold Slither is not even that niche. So I think they're just doing it for fun. They just know that people are just going to go, you know what? Yeah, I'm digging it. And I think people dig it for the fun. I think if there's anything, this, like you said at the outset with Greg Berenson, make it fun and it'll sell. I think that's what they're doing. I think they're legit going, this is fun. And that sells.
I like that answer.
Yeah. If they made O-rings, would you get them?
No,
because I would. I've got the Zartan, and I might buy the other ones. But I like the Zartan. It's fine.
No, absolutely not. I will always stand by like what you like.
Yeah.
But again, that needs to be a two-way street, right? It's a respect of other people's loves and their passions.
Yeah.
Sadly, it isn't a two-way street more often than not. I honestly don't know why there's a massive Cold Slither push of all things. Do I think that, again, secondary, tertiary, right? Second, third order of effect. Do I think that they're going to do an average Joe band? Probably. Everybody in the chat was just throwing up their opinions and their thoughts, like from this to this. And I don't think anyone's opinion is wrong because they're opinions, right? Chad, is your Cobra glider minty? Fuck yeah, it is. See it? That's the Joe. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's the GI Joe Falcon glider. That's not the Cobra glider. But yeah, that's not the Viper glider. Yes, it is. It is 100% complete. And that's why it's always been protected. I think a lot of it is you have the bias of the guy who's probably got the most clout on the line, right? Because Lenny's a huge Dreadnought guy, which again, opinions, take them or leave it. I think the dude is very fake it before you make it.
Okay.
He seems very fair weather. I don't know. Okay, cool. He latched onto the Dreadnoughts, whatever it is, what it is. I see the whole Spinal Tap thing and I see that stuff, but you're talking about the whole premise, man. It was a little bullshit 30-second mind control,
hypnotize people. Yeah.
And that was it. And now it's like a fucking thing. Somebody made reference in the chat about Gem. Well, Loyal Subjects is making Gem, so
that's a
Gem's
Gem
already
speaker.
there.
That's a Gem speaker for anybody who's been looking at it. That's a collector case, but it's made to be a speaker. It's awesome.
Yeah, so Gem's already out there. M. Vargo, huge hot take. I've never been a huge fan of the Dreadnoughts. That's fine.
It's all right.
I think that the Dreadnoughts get misrepresented a little too much because the
they
whole
started
like
with Mad
Cobra,
Max
Cobra,
designs.
Cobra. Yeah, they're not Cobra. They're
100%.
mercenaries.
Yeah.
That's it. They're mercenaries who work for Zartan, who works for Cobra for money. That's it. They're not affiliated with Cobra. They don't give two shits about Cobra.
Yeah.
But and again, a lot of it with the Sunbow and why does Zartan have hair? That's not hair, it's a hood. I still have arguments with people who say that's hair.
It's depending on who animated it in cartoons.
Well, yeah,
too,
because
is
it goes
hair in
like
some.
this.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. Like Lifeline wasn't a pacifist. The Hiss isn't a fucking tank. Destro's mask does not have a moving mouth. It's animated.
You can't
I
blame
get it. I think it's cool that people are into it, but at the same time, I see it as just, but that's what marketing should do, right? Marketing is to get you into something that they want you to get into.
They've hooked it. Yeah, they found a fresh hook.
There was never a massive demand for anything Cold Slither. Even the people that shit on Cobra Law for decades, who are now like, oh, I got to get that exclusive Cobra Commander. Oh, I got to get that Nemesis Immortal, just because they put it out. Chaz a guru. I consider Chaz a friend. I truly do. I've had Chaz on the channel. We talk all the time. One reason why I love Chaz a guru is because I fucking flat called him out. Dude, you talked so much shit about Cobra Law, and now you're like all about these fucking figures. And he's like, and I'll still talk shit about Cobra Law.
They're cool looking figures, though.
At least you admit it.
Yeah.
At least he admits it. But yeah. Everybody wanted the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted every mail away. They figured out a hook in every one of them, right? Like every year they say, okay, here's this one, here's this one, here's the one that's metal with the shield, and like he's a super trooper. Okay, great. Every time they have a hook in you somehow to say, we're gonna get this one. This will get a different audience. This will get a different amount of people talking about it. Cold Slither, I think, gets a different way into the conversation for some people that they want. If they're talking about, well, we can't market to kids, but we'll market to a different amount of older millennials and Gen X. And I think Cold Slither is their way into that tangent audience to that degree, because they're not going to do, Cobra Commander and Destro in the suits and Baroness in the dress, because they're doing, Cobra-thon, right? Like Cobra-thon is the Cold Slither of the 86 season, right? You go, okay, here's the scheme with different designs attached, but they're not doing that because I don't think there's a way in. As cool as those may be as figures one day, you go, oh yeah, I want a Destro in a suit. Like But I think that there's just a different way that they want to hook in people and go. It's like you say, when it comes down to it, it's all marketing. It's all figuring out how do we touch base with this crowd that already is into it, that will buy a variant or buy an exclusive or buy a 6-inch, buy a three-quarter inch, and how many people who have never seen it before go, oh, that's cool. I've been a rock and roller, for this many years, and I'm 65, that I want to buy these figures of GI Joe because they are 80s rockers, and they've got some of that. I think that they want some of that, even if that's a Comic-Con exclusive. I think there's limited, but there's got to be an amount of people who are into it for that reason. And I think it remains to be seen, right? Talking about the exclusive at Comic-Con, we'll see who gets it, and we'll see who's into it, right? If there's a member of Jackal who gets it, you go, okay, well, NowhereManChild was right. Like, but like, who knows? I don't know.
No.
I'm using Jackal. That's a rare. I don't even have Jackal music.
Yeah,
that's like Striper.
That's a deep cut right there.
I was like, who can I pick? Jackal came out for a Striper, so
that's fine. CJ Prime says, yeah, I admit it. I hated Cobra Law, but yeah, I got the figures. Even the lame parts of my childhood, I still want. There you go. And that's cool. If that's what you want, that's totally cool.
Because it depends how much sci-fi do you like in your Joe. Like, do you like the Fatal Fluffies? Do you like Cold Slither? Do you like Once a Man Cobra Commander? Or do you like none of it? Because there's people who just want the military bent only. But then there's still, like, you talk about the future forward elements. They say, oh, Battle Force 2000 is over the line. Okay, well then what about Repeater? What about, the aliens design of Repeater and Dodger, and the fact that the Monster Blaster APC is fantastic. We talk about the late 90s, right? Or the early 90s, late in the line. The Monster Blaster APC is as good as anything in the early years. It's just if it's neon colored and it's from the 90s, people will not even give it a second thought. And you and I know better. But like, that's the thing. Like, where do you draw the line in your Joe, in your future forward or otherwise? So
this is a good point. Also, when you have a lot of YouTubers hyping it up, helps the machine. Well,
yeah, that happens.
See, that's where that quid pro quo comes in.
Yeah.
Because YouTube channels have become the marketing arm for a lot of these corporations. I mean,
there's no TV commercials.
Exactly. There's no TV commercials. There's no media. There's barely comics. Even though the Energon stuff, that's a totally different conversation. I think is killing it. But I asked a legitimate question.
Like in sales. Yeah.
I asked a legitimate question. Again, not to shit on, but because I was genuinely interested to know, what does a marketing manager or director or whatever Emily's title is, what do you do if there's nothing to market? Is it your QVC streams, which are almost always pre-recorded, where you sell figures? San Diego Comic-Con? Like, okay, but what else do you do for the rest of the year if YouTube channels are your marketing arm? And I don't just mean her, I mean like all these companies. What does your marketing team do? There's no print ads. There's no more like JCPenney catalog, Sears catalog. Like, you have toy photographers that you source out to do all your toy photography for you with, like when they did Mutton Junkyard and the fucking magazine was out of the weapon.
Right. And the fact that, the scannable part on the package doesn't scan to take you to somewhere that can market it better with a file card.
No,
otherwise, that is the most disappointing piece of classified, that they just decide to it won't scan to go to a website of this figure where you can learn who it is. That disappointed me so greatly when I was like, there's marketing that they're missing that they just choose. They say no to it. They go, oh, we don't need it. They know who this is. Okay,
look at this.
You're not building.
Triple D's Dungeon says color changing Zartan with the Swamps gear would have been an awesome exclusive. And I'll say this. I'm not trying to just bag on Cold Slither because I don't like Cold Slither. I honestly wanted to know people's thoughts. At least if you're going to do it, that's a good exclusive because all those characters have already been released. It's not like when they fucked everybody up for a hot minute with Serpentor and Mindbender. Like, why are you doing named characters as con exclusives for the first time they're out? Like, that's fucked up. That's a gut punch to people who got to catch them all, that FOMO shit. But at least Cold Slither, you could take it or leave it. Yeah, I'm kind of a completist, but you don't need Cold Slither to have Zartan or to have, one of the original 3 Dreadnoks because you've already got them. And then, if your completionist mentality takes over, well, you're going to eBay.
And if you want the accessories,
this would have
been
been cool.
The accessories. Then
I said Worlds Without End.
Yeah. Darker figure creations, but yeah.
Skeletons.
Yeah.
Skeletons.
Here's your clutch out away from the vamp.
Here's Grunt. Fucking dead. Yeah.
Here, you want Steeler? All right, you got Steeler now. If they did O-rings of those, though, and I know there's people who've made them probably, but like those would sell. Do an O-ring 3-pack of those, the Super 7. If you're going to lean into Subbo, do a 3-pack. Like, do Lila, the Cobra, female that worked for the Baroness in Worlds Without End. Like, there you go. Like, Super 7 has a lot that they can dive into that would still be tapping into.
You could do Red Knock,
fresh,
right? Which is that weird knockoff all red Baroness with parts of Lady J. You could do Red Knock. You could do Chameleon, right? Which is
Chameleon.
Baroness when they lost the name and then, it's her fucking sister and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah. I saw Striper at Disney World in Florida back in like 88, 89 when they were like big, when they got like.
Are they still together? I think they are.
I saw them when they got mainstream popular. So anyway, whatever.
He's got music in his title, so he knows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Cold Slither, that is what a San Diego Comic-Con set should be.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. You could do crazy shit like do a Battle Android Trooper 5-pack. Do the Inferno Bat, do the Nano Bat, do the Constructicon Bat, do the Jungle Bat, and then just pick one, whatever. But that's a fucking
Night Viper Bat.
That's an exclusive set right there. I want to see them do the Constructicon Bat. If they even know it exists, which
in green,
they probably don't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Was that a Black Major one, or that was a real one?
No. It was part of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive shit from the.
I forgot.
The mid-aughts.
Awesome.
He came with.
That's awesome.
Shockwave, the Shockwave retaliation hiss.
Okay. Wow.
And then there was that Destro in the big jacket with the.
That Resolute Destro is a good looking figure.
Are we going to talk about the Thunder Machine vehicle? What's there to talk about? I don't know.
They lost the license, though. It's the Lightning Machine now. That'd be the biggest bummer. The same way that they have to change the names of stuff. You go, don't let Bobby buy it. He'll take Thunder Machine from you.
Oh, man. The fact that he could have bought Serpentor. And I was like, bro, you need to go back in time and fix that shit. He could have bought Flint, Serpentor. There were several others.
Yeah. He said, that's spite money. I can't spend spite money. Steel Corps, Steel Brigade. I can do Steel Brigade. That's money he produced back on the release end of it. Yeah, spite money he didn't spend.
The Thunder Machine is in fact a machine, but doesn't actually create thunder. Discuss.
Discuss.
It does not create thunder. No, it does not.
Got a
I had
jet
to
engine.
star this. BT left. I was sorry to see him leave. I guess he had to go. But I starred this comment when everybody was giving their opinions on the Cold Slither thing, that I just asked because I value other people's opinions.
Yeah.
I think most of classified collectors like Cold Slither and don't know shit about it.
That can be.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I
there's
have
a little bit of information to take in and you can get it, but you don't know.
Yeah,
you
but
just think it's
again,
cool.
that's
That happens too. Yeah.
I'm pointing off to the side like anyone can see the comment on the side. It's down here. That is the whole idea behind the never go full classified. It's the attitude of like, well, I collect this. I don't know shit about any of the fucking, decades that came before, but I collect this.
Yeah.
So you're going to fucking listen to me. Yeah. Well, guess what? Einstein, I'm not, because you don't know fuck all.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? I have mountains of examples where people, they try, like, you could just go to the GI Joe Instagram or Facebook page And there are thousands of examples where people know nothing about GI Joe, but they will fucking tell you how it is because they pre-ordered the newest classified wave and you fucking didn't, and you don't know shit.
And that's the educational component. Like, how do you educate folks, right, that don't want to be educated? That I think that's the hardest thing in life.
I just, I make a slogan in a t-shirt and I fucking make fun of it. Yeah. That's all. I'm, if people want to ask my thoughts, or like that one guy that was like, "Hey, I'm new here. Like, what's the deal with Hooded Cobra Commander?" Fuck yeah, man, let's discuss it.
Yeah, and he learned, and he's been educated.
But the people who chime in and go, "Oh, that's not why. You don't know shit." Oh, really? Well, fucking strap yourself in because I'm about to hit you with some fucking knowledge, kid.
Yeah. So, and that's where they come in with the personal bias.
Crow, what's
we
up,
believe this already,
dude? Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I just think there's people that come in with a personal bias, right? They go, "You don't know." Well, then why? Tell me why that you know and I don't, when I came in with the educated point of view and you're coming in with the opposite. Are you coming with the opposite just to be the opposite or not? Like, and I think that's the internet sometimes, where people just want to be the antagonist and go, "Okay, this will make a story because you're the protagonist."
It's all about emotion, right?
Yeah,
it's like that dude that I referenced earlier, that fucking Island Viper guy. He made that video about me and called me like whatever. Like, I can't remember verbatim, but something about being like toxic GI Joe. First of all, for a grown man to call another grown man toxic, unironically, fuck, man. Take out your tampon. I fucking hate that term. Second, everything that you shit on me about, all you did was prove my point. So if you want to come at it from emotions only, that's fine. Like, I'm totally cool with that. But yeah. He called Chad a doo-doo face. I want to go get one of those hair picks and just stand it next to a basic trooper. I just want to do it just for fun. It's not a tampon, Chad. It's a man pond.
When I learned that character in Spaceballs was Tim Russ, who is Tuvok in Star Trek voice. I went back and I had no idea for years. And that's the kind of thing where you become a.
And that dude's a classically trained actor, and he's in Spaceballs going, "We found shit."
And he was in Spaceballs before he was in hours and hours of Star Trek. Like, he's a legendary Star Trek character, and he has this little Spaceballs character that will probably be in the Spaceballs sequel now, also because he's here to do it.
Yeah, dude, Cropstar's got a fucking good point about that whole the mass device.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, they're setting that up for that still. Yeah.
Well, he had mentioned the weather dominator, but the elements were the mass device. But
yeah.
I finally, Jeff, did I show you? I think I showed you.
Hall. I saw it in the hall. Yeah.
Yeah. Destro's Toy Den, man. That guy's got good shit. When I was filming that first day, I was like, "Oh, that's a fucking complete weather dominator."
The mass device.
Mass device, yeah.
I would have got the complete mass device too. I got the weather dominator, but it's in like just 3 pieces, right? You go,
I have the weather dominator. It's on my recently fucking beat up Terradrome. But dude, that weather dominator's like this big. It's tiny. Where are you going?
I'm getting mine here. There it is. Yep.
Yeah, it's very small. Right.
Yeah. It's any collector should get this. If anybody that's into Joe is looking for one of these, like get a weather dominator.
Yeah,
it's in
I got
3 pieces. It comes apart just like in the cartoon. Get one of these. Yeah.
It sits on top of your Terradrome very well.
Yeah, or your shelf. Yeah, my shelfie.
Oh, apparently mine is now a battle damaged Terradrome.
Oh, I have one is on my Terradrome. There we go. My Terradrome, I've got Star Wars. A Star Wars piece.
You got your Sakatumi zone.
I do. I'm a laugh-in freak. Yeah. And here's a Cobra Commander. There you go.
Oh yes, dude.
The red hood.
That is one of the best Cobra Commanders.
Yeah, to be able to get the hood or the helmet switching out like this is excellent.
Yeah, the black and red ultimate. So that Cobra Commander in my collection lives with my red shadows because, as you know, in Battle Action Force, Baron Ironblood, he did the old switcheroo.
Mm-hmm.
He got rid of this helmet and he became Cobra Commander.
Right.
So the
No more
black and
buckets.
red Cobra Commander is always my, hey, I was Baron Ironblood 5 minutes ago. So it's a fucking awesome figure, man.
Yeah, I had to get that. It's great. Cool figure.
I cried when Destro pulled all GI Joe from the storefront for and took it to DFW.
Oh,
Gotcha.
huh.
Gotcha. Well, my friend,
That's cool.
how long we been going?
We've been going
3 hours,
almost
40
3
minutes.
hours 40. Mm-hmm.
Well, Hella Dope Toys is about to come on in about 20-ish minutes, I believe.
Is that it? Yeah.
I do not want to walk on their shit, and I need to go spend some time with the missus. So
Me too. My dog was asking, saying, "Isn't dinner time?" I was like, "I guess she didn't ask my wife for dinner." So
I want to thank you for hanging out with me tonight. It's been a while since you and I have hung out
100%,
online,
dude.
and it was wonderful to see you again this past weekend.
You as well, bud. Absolutely. Yeah. That's why, like, let me send a picture of us, and you can use it in the promo for this thing if you need to. So, I was glad to.
One of those was mine. Calm down. One of them was yours. One of them was mine. You're going to do the honors of signing us out, but first I got to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out with us this week. Don't forget, next week, Bobby Vala from Valaverse, and we're going to talk 118 only. That's all we're talking. We're not talking that 6-inch shit. So, yeah. You want to sign us out?
So we'll sign out nice and big here. The way that Jerry Springer would sign everyone out. Be good to one another and yourselves, and we'll see you next time.
Chad, how insensitive of you.